Hello, hello, hello. How we doing tonight? Welcome to another edition of the College Football Mafia Big Freaking Friday Show. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. With me, are my partners, guys that are always standing at my side, help me keep going and staying on top of everything for all of you. That would be the Wild Ute and Moen. How you guys doing tonight?
What's freaking going on? It's Friday, guys. It's Friday.
It's Friday, Moen.
Absolutely, 100%. It's Friday. We're going to talk some realignment. We're going to preview week 3. It's going to be a good show. Should be just a good time had by all.
Excellent, excellent. Before we get going, I've been sitting on this for a couple days. I haven't said a bunch of stuff about the news this week, but I did want to make a statement, and then we'll sort of move past what has gone on this week and try to do better. All of us will try to do a better thing. So let me read this, and then we'll move on to the rest of the show. In preparation for the Big Freaking Friday show tonight, I wanted to post an acknowledgement of the news that we've all been affected by this week. And I wrote this down. So if it sounds stilted, it's because I wrote it down. Before we get started, we want to take a moment to acknowledge the tragic loss of Charlie Kirk. To his family, friends, and fans, we offer our sincere condolences. I've taken the time to try and put my voice to my prayers. What we do around here is we're tongue in cheek. We tease around a little bit. We have some debates and everything. We challenge narratives, and we cover college sports to the best of our ability. Over time, we grow into something larger, a platform for all teams, brands, especially those that have felt overlooked and marginalized in college football conversation. On that front, we respected Charlie Kirk, his passion to push back against the tide, because in our way, we've tried to do the same thing. We value the freedom of speech that we all have, right to healthy debate and open dialogue. My College Football Mafia team deals in college football realignment, media deals, governance, regulation, legislation, and the tribal nature of rivalries. The business of college football should be fun. It should spark debate, but it should never cross into threats or violence. No subject, whether politics, sports, justifies violence, which is abhorrent. We hope to foster positive dialogue, even in the heat of rivalry and debate, and to remember that while college football can be tribal, life is greater than any rivalry. And if a BYU and Utah Ute can overcome all of our challenges, I think anything is possible. I pray for each of us. We will strive to do better each and every day. So anything you guys want to add to that?
I think it's well said, and it's right on the money right here. I agree with everything you said. It's okay to disagree in this community. It's okay elsewhere. So I invite that. And I think that is something that we all need to work on.
Yeah. Moen, you want to add anything?
I agree with Nate 100%.
I love that. That's great. Unanimity. It doesn't happen very often, but tonight we certainly have that. So we'd like to, again, give prayers to Charlie Kirk's family. Certainly hope that they can get past this very painful challenge, and we'll do everything we can to help support them in any possible way. So everybody have a great night. Let's have some fun, and let's sort of move on to what we want to talk about in college football. Now, Moen, right when we started, we had a new member. You want to kick that off?
Sure can. Ricky Tungate, Indiana Hoosiers, gifted a membership, and that membership went to Master. He is now a member of the
Good.
College
He's
Football
better.
Mafia.
He should be a full-time member, man.
And, just yesterday, a new members-only video dropped. Mullen Confidential. This month, we talk about Texas teams' candidacy in the Big Ten. I had some information from a TCU source, which I shared on the channel on that show. And we talked about what the validity, the possibility of the 4 schools, Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, and SMU, as potential Big Ten candidates. So if you're a member, definitely want to check that out. I think you will enjoy it.
And to sort of tip our hat to that membership thing, it's a big deal around here. We do membership videos where throughout this season, we're going to continue to stay on not only regular college football, but the business of college football, the financing, absolutely what realignment is. So that we want to stay ahead of that, and we do that with new member videos. So you want to say anything about the Wild Ute University videos? We haven't really dove into member videos in any depth recently.
Yeah, so we make some of the most unique videos out there. They're database videos, they're realignment heavy. We care a lot about realignment on this channel. That's how I actually got started into podcasting, because I was one of the biggest realignment junkies.
That's true.
Texas and OU left, and I couldn't find any realignment content. And that's what we do here. We love it. We freaking want to dice it up. And so when we deliver content like that, Wild Ute University is really primarily centered around realignment. So we're going to bring more stuff to you guys in the future.
Appreciate it. And thank you so much, Ricky, for giving a new member. If you received a free membership, consider buying one for somebody else. Karma's real. Pay it forward, be a good person, and maybe give somebody else the opportunity to watch those member videos. Then we've got a couple of super chats that have flown in here at the beginning of the show. Amazing Blue. Moen, you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, Amazing Blue. I thought about it. I'm not going to accept the challenge to wear the Michigan gear. I can't. Not while my father is still alive.
Not even for $100.
Not even for $1,000.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Again, rivalry aside, he is my brother. He lives in Akron, I believe, or Canton, one of those places. But his mom and his dad are Ohio State fans. They're good people.
There we go.
Thanks for the super chat, Amazing Blue. I'll tell you what I will do.
Okay.
He gave us a super chat towards our goal. We will do the Michigan song.
Let's go. Yes. I love this song. Rah, rah, rah. I love it. Thank you so much, Amazing Blue. Just to quote actually what you put here, like Moen is my brother, despite his bad taste in football teams. So I love that. Even in rivalry, we have super chats coming in, Moen.
Yes, we do.
And then Ricky Tungate, again, a fantastic member of our community. Another $5 he's given us for a super chat saying, IU having a scrimmage tonight, 45-0 at the half. Indiana's trying to make a point, I think, tonight.
Yeah, they looked really sloppy that first game of the season.
Yeah, they did.
I think they missed the cover on that game. They've been on fire since, though. I mean, they've taken off. So
that Illinois-Indiana game is going to be big.
Yep, Greg and I were talking about that a little earlier. Here you go. Here's a little Hoosier song for Ricky Tungate.
There you go.
Closer to the goal.
Never heard this. Rob. Thank you so
Underrated
much, Ricky.
fight song.
Underrated. Quickly, we'll run through some shout outs. Let's just do this right at the beginning. Nick Kelso, valuable member of our College Football Mafia family. And you know how you know that? It's got that little S symbol next to his name. Those people need to be called out. Members are the bomb. Saying, heck yeah, I believe he was first in. Big Lubbock, always trying to be first, says he was first in, but he was actually second. Jackson Johnson, checking in, moderator, somebody that comes and helps us around here every once in a while, voice of college football. Jackson says he's third, and he can count. That's good. Mosito says fourth. Man, we got people who can count tonight. That's great. To Town Hockey, another valuable member. Appreciate the Town Hockey. He always calls in on my call-in shows on Tuesday nights. Fifth in the program, number one in your hearts. There you go, Kansas. Standing up tonight. I appreciate that. Let's see. Conundrums in next. This should be an interesting episode. Moen, you want to say anything about this Big Ten thing that we're going to get to after we do our picks?
Yeah. There might be a little ranting and raving in here, but
okay. Setting expectations. Okay. All right. Appreciate you, Conundrum. Thank you so much. Daniel Gygax says, hi, everyone. Daniel's a contributor around here, valuable partner of the team. Really appreciate him. Member of the team. I shouldn't say partner. Throw that word around too much. Bob Swanger checking in for the Nittany Lions, saying, hi, everyone. Appreciate you, Bob. Another valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Sean, has been a recent addition, but boy, we sure appreciate all the feedback that Sean gives us. Great conversation pieces. Really appreciate him. Saying you might beat Utah, but you're not scoring 42 points in Rice-Eccles Stadium. Ute.
No, look, you guys, there's a huge game coming up next week. But before I even want to talk about that, I don't know why Utah's playing at Wyoming. We talked
I don't
about this
either.
last week.
Yeah, I don't
Why
know.
in the freaking world are you playing Laramie, Wyoming? Because guess what? Teams get upset up there all the time. There's a massive game at Rice-Eccles, big noon the week after. Yep. I am very scared of this Wyoming game. I want to focus on tomorrow. And then I'm going to get all into Texas Tech. The last thing we want to do for the Big 12 is lose at Wyoming in a non-conference game.
Don't do that, you. Don't do that.
That's bad for every single person in the Big 12. So we got to focus on beating Wyoming, and then I will smack talk every single one of you on Big Freaking Friday.
Well, here we go. Stormy Cyclone's already starting it a week early. Stormy's a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family, saying, been looking forward to the Texas Tech-Utah game since schedules were released. On paper, it looks fantastic. It's a rematch. Utah got what? You guys beat Texas Tech by what last year?
We didn't play Texas Tech.
You have played Texas Tech.
Time.
Okay, all right. I was thinking
of somebody else. This is the first time they're ever coming. Yeah.
Okay.
So
actually, I was thinking of BYU. Actually, they beat them last year there. So, or 2 years ago, I guess. I don't know. Time goes by so fast. But looking forward to it. Stormy saying, I'm looking forward to that game too. It's a great week for Bonanza. Mr. Monkey says, I wish I was a KU money perch. That's fantastic.
Hey, Mr. Monkey says, again, that's a chimpanzee, not a monkey. But if we hit the overtime goal tonight, I talked to a Kansas friend tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Kansas.
Tell everybody what the target is, Moen.
It's always the same thing on Friday night. 15.
Okay.
15 $5 super chats or more. We do overtime tonight. I'm putting a kicker in there. We're doing a little drinking. I got a bird in a skirt.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to talk about the Jayhawks. As a matter of fact, I got something special for the Jayhawk fans out there.
Right now or in the future? Okay. What's that? Let's go, Jayhawks.
Rock chalk,
Jayhawks. Okay. All right. My ears are really bad. Doug Gibbs checking in, representing North Carolina State Wolfpack. You guys got off to a terrible start last night against Wake Forest. That had to be scary, but it's good to see you guys finally put them away and you won. That was good for the ACC. Doc Gibbs says if UNC doesn't go to the SEC, NC State is the largest school, bigger than UNC.
Moan, what do you think about that? The Wolfpack.
That's true. I'm not going to deny that, but UNC
the brand value is what we're talking about.
Yeah, UNC is still more desirable. AAU, etc.
Yeah, I think just the brand is easiest way to put that away. Amazing Blue, another $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Mason, Ohio, and hell yes, he said.
There you go.
We'll get to a few more, and then we're going to jump right into our picks. Troll Grinding Cheek Clapper. This name is fantastic for social media. Ute, I know you're disappointed that Utah isn't in the Big Ten yet. Bomber, you're worried about the Big 12, but could be worse. Utah at least isn't UCLA, and BYU at least isn't CI Clemson in the ACC. Cal. Okay, well that's definitely true. There's no doubt about that. Look,
I would rather be UCLA right now.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a choice, I'd rather be. Yeah, I think.
I mean, at least they're in, right?
Yeah,
they're in the party. So
exactly. Yeah, it's hard to deny any of that. I get it though. I understand what you're saying. MH5 has been here and out and been back. Appreciate you. Go Jaybirds, lol. Go Black 45, the best. Troll Grinding Cheek Clapper's pretty good. Go Black 45 is my favorite. Has LSU, by the way, has to do a grown-up thing tip day, and buy a new washer and dryer. Not cheap. I bought one 2 years ago, and it was like $1,200.
We got ours 3 years ago. We got a Samsung pair.
Right.
And they're really nice, except the Samsung washer, when it's done, it plays a song for like a minute.
Oh, we might have the same one. Ours does the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's a black glass top load.
But yes, it is black glass, but it's the burnished burnished copper, darker.
Okay, but
Yeah,
it still
yeah.
plays a little bum,
It
bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
so annoying that it's
It
like
is
you have
annoying.
to
I'm like,
you if
can
you
you turn that
open the
off? My
lid,
Wi-Fi say
yeah,
no way.
if you open the lid, it stops.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like you'll be trying to do something, and that damn thing goes on for a minute and a half
I know.
sometimes, and it's like,
I know.
Jesus,
Yeah,
I
it
get
does.
it. The laundry's done. I will get to it.
Another Jayhawk in the house. We have a lot of Kansas representation tonight.
Yeah.
Every man a Wildcat tonight. Arizona Wildcat. Let's see. That's an out-of-conference game.
I
which
know,
is
isn't that
crazy.
so weird?
Crazy.
Who wins that game
Pac-12
tonight,
stuff.
guys? Is that going to be K-State or is that going to be Arizona?
Where are they
in
playing?
Tucson.
Arizona could beat them. K-State has not been good. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but a couple more. Becky, go Huskies. Another contributor around here, valuable member of the team, saying Indiana State has 10 yards of offense at half versus Indiana. Yeah, the gap between Utah and a Portland State or BYU and a Kennesaw State is so much greater than it used to be. The gap now with the schools that can get all the money versus these FCS and even lower Division I teams are like they're light years apart, guys. You don't want to say anything about that? Okay.
I think that you're right. You just nailed it right there. And I'm just like, okay, with Indiana, these guys drive me nuts. They don't schedule anybody, and they're flexing right now. Indiana State, like, come on, like, don't even talk about that. I don't care if you're up 1,000-0. Play somebody. Like, seriously, play somebody. It's the same team that didn't want to play any like power conferences. The Big Ten sometimes is weak, Moen. The Big Ten is soft and weak, and getting softer and weaker. I cannot wait till Utah plays a Big Ten team that punches them in the freaking face next time. We're going to whoop you guys. I'm so sick of it and your softness over here. Not playing anybody. The Big Ten is going to have it out. Especially Indiana. Schedule somebody.
How did Utah do in the 2 Rose Bowls that played against Big Ten teams?
How did Utah do versus UCLA 2 weeks ago?
Wow, you beat UCLA.
UCLA's bad.
Yeah, you want to go kick a crippled
Hey, that's a Big Ten team, guys. That's a Big Ten team is playing a legit program and got their freaking butt handed to them.
Yeah,
unlike Indiana, who's playing Indiana
For
State.
one, Indiana's defense on this one, I'm not going to defend all of it. It's a smaller in-state school. It helps fund that school's athletic department.
You talking about Indiana State?
Indiana State.
Right. These in-state things where you're playing Utah State or playing Weber State.
Now,
that makes a ton of sense, right?
The rest of Indiana going and scheduling a bunch of FCS and G6 schools.
I think that's
I'm against that.
Yeah.
And I think Indiana's going to be surprised because they're going to have to change their schedule and buy some people out. Because I think the Big Ten is probably going to make people play a 10th Power 4.
Well, the SEC is playing 9 now, so the world has changed, right? We're just waiting for the ACC to, anyway, whatever. To Town Hawk, $2 super chat says the game's at War Memorial Stadium. Anything can happen.
Yeah, there's no way that like Wyoming wins at any position. But things happen at that stadium. I've seen it before. Nate's seen it before.
Yeah.
Wyoming, Utah used to play all the time back in the Mountain West days.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Weird stuff happens. I just don't know why you put yourself in the position to play the football game. Like, and so I think the game, it makes me uncomfy for sure. And it's not like Utah has any business losing or keeping that game close. But like, I just know based on experience, playing up there is weird. Texas Tech lost 2 years ago up there.
Yeah, it's not a team you want to play. I'm just saying avoid Utah State and avoid Wyoming. I don't think anybody should go to those 2 towns to play football. You want to say something, Moen?
Yeah, I was going to say in the Big Ten, it used to be the Purdue Spoilermakers, and they've got off to a good start. It might be soon again. When
we first started and you started coming in, you sold Ute and I for 2 consecutive summers on Purdue making these upsets every year, and both years we've been burned. So I am over Purdue. That's
why Brian Walters was their own coach. I still don't agree with the Barry Odom hire, but Purdue has made a comeback. They're 2-0. I mean, I don't ever want to go play in Ross-Ade Stadium at night ever again. I still have to.
I'm scared about it.
There's enough FCS, and I would say, lower end Division I teams that you should be able to play 2 out of conference, FCS, 1 Division I, and then 10 A4 conference games every year. Everybody should be doing that. So this Indiana and buying out, what was it, Virginia, the real powerhouse of Virginia. I mean, come on, man. Anyways,
it's bad. It's bad, Moan. Like, you got to call that out. It's bad, man.
Let's just turn the page on that. That's a whole different night. All right, Becky, go Huskies. Checking in. Good to see you, Becky. You look good. That's a great picture. $5 super chat contributing to Moen's overtime goal. I'm so lost. It's a bye week for Washington. Who should I watch? Hey, Becky, I'm in it with you. BYU's off this week too, and if you ever thought BYU needed to be playing a football game, it was this weekend. The state of Utah has been just a mess this last 3 days, and so I would prefer to be playing, but we're not.
Well, I mean, I think Georgia-Tennessee is probably the matchup of the week.
Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, that's gonna be. I think Tennessee's gonna get beat, but Daniel Gygax, $5 super chat saying we need to talk about the most important non-conference game of the weekend, the 108th Backyard Brawl. We will talk about it, Daniel. So let's just leave that aside, Moen. Don't say anything. It's in our picks. We'll talk about it then. Let's see here really quick. We're getting all these $5 super. Moen, you are serious. People are buying your time. I love this. Stormy says lost. Iowa offensive. Return to Hayden Fry if found. that's
I mean,
mean.
Stormy, that's funny, but let's keep in mind you guys won by 3.
Yeah, that's 3. Mean. That's mean. Ryan Willie checking in, representing the Wisconsin Badgers. Good to have you here, Ryan. Thank you so much. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. At a Brewer game, I'll watch later. I appreciate you, Ryan. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely watch us later. We have fun on these shows. You know that. Becky again, another $5 super chat. When Utah beats the top half of the Big Ten, I'll believe they're good. You're worried about Wyoming. That's not a team the Big Ten worries about.
I guarantee you, if any Big Ten team went to Laramie, you'd be.
There's a reason they don't, though. I think that's
right?
the point. Is they don't.
I mean, I believe Big Ten teams have lost in Laramie before, so I know. Look, I'm getting a little sick of this little elitist feel from Washington Husky fans and stuff. I mean, Utah was in a conference with you a year and a half ago, and there's like this new, like this elitist and stuff like Utah, rub it off the shoulder and stuff. You forget that Utah is going to punk all these Big Ten teams. This year, Utah's got a squad. I cannot wait to see if Utah makes the playoff and stuff. To punk some freaking Big Ten teams.
What are you doing, Moan?
What are you doing, Moan?
You're trying to shut Ute down? Is that
Moan.
it? You're trying to put music in over him?
Moan, really? Was that strategic, Moan?
Post-production.
I've got one of these cheap tablets I use for the soundboard.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they package in adware in it.
Okay.
You can't get it out. And for some reason,
this is what I thought it was. You had an AI agent running, and if you said 5 Big Ten words in a row, it would automatically play a sounder. That's what I'm not going to.
I'm not going to listen to Utah lecture the Big Ten.
All right, do me a favor.
Utah's going to punk Utah's going to.
You're going to punk the Big Ten. You have 2 opportunities
this year. Seriously, the Big Ten's going down big time.
All right.
We're going to take them out personally.
How many points were you guys up against Ohio State in the
I want to hear.
Bring it on. You will go down versus Utah if you play Utah. Ohio State, I don't care. Bring your best team. Oregon, whatever. Utah's going to punk you all.
Give me the Washington air horn, please. I want to hear that, and we'll start picks.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me the siren. Let's go.
Let me go. Hold on. I got to find it. Washington.
See here. One more. There you go. Becky's on it tonight. Thank you so much, boys. There we go. No, you need tequila. I'm telling you, the song is
It's
tequila.
Copyright protected.
Well, you can't find some kid playing on a flute or something.
Doesn't matter.
Oh gosh,
doesn't matter.
I'm telling you, tequila's the song in the state of University of Washington. Becky, you asked another $5 super chat. Washington lost twice ever to Utah. Twice. I feel good about playing Utah.
Okay, so, we'll bring it on.
All right.
The squad's different this year.
Okay.
In the playoffs, if you make it.
All right. First, we want to get. Wait a second. I'm missing a slide. Where's the review slide, Moen?
You want the results slide?
Yeah. I
It's the
I
one
looked
that's
for it. I didn't see it.
oh, it's right here.
Okay,
Says
let's do
results.
this one. Okay, I picked the wrong one. Let's do this one. So I was 5-5 again last week. Oh
Yep.
my gosh. You was 5-5. Mo and 7-3. Uh-oh. I'm already 4 games behind now. Becky 3-7, coming back to the pack. Pickles 3-7. I don't know. He's way. And then Gygax was 4-6. So Moen, what, you're leading by 2 games? You're tied with who? Are you you're
I'm up by
first?
1 game. I'm up
Okay.
by 1 game
All
against
right.
Rock and Gygax.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Rock. But see, Rock. Yeah, Rock went 7-3 last week. So 12-8, 11-9. Okay, what? You and I are still in it. We're not
Oh,
out
everybody's
of it
still
yet.
in it.
Yeah. Okay, now we can get to the regular. Let me pull this one out. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna pick games. The team does these, as everybody knows. Appreciate everybody that contributes. We're gonna go through these games as quick as we can. Just comment and talk about these winners and losers. Wisconsin getting 21.5 points at Alabama, and me and Daniel are the only ones that took Wisconsin. I just think that point differential is Alabama has not shown me they can score that many points. So I was picking the spread. I wasn't picking the win. You guys have anything to say about that?
points is
That's
a lot.
just too many.
And unfortunately, Wisconsin's going to get punked by even more.
You think so? Okay.
Bama's not a good team. Wisconsin's a very bad team. So I
Oof.
just think Bama just puts them away early. It's a blowout. I don't know how ugly it gets, but more than spread, more than 21.5.
Moen, you want to say?
I have to look and see what I ended up. This is part of one of my parlays this week, and I've got Alabama.
Okay.
I got Alabama covering, and I think I got in real early at like 19.5.
Oh, great, man. That's fantastic.
So, but yeah, I like Alabama here. Listen, Billy Edwards still probably isn't going to play for Wisconsin this weekend. They just can't keep their quarterbacks healthy in Wisconsin. They've got a good defense, but there's so much 5-star and 4-star talent on Alabama. It's,
I don't know.
Ryan Williams
Kalen
went
DeBoer is on the edge, man.
Yeah, but Ryan Williams went down, and then that Jeremy Bernard came in and just started catching like 150 yards a game. So
yeah, he might be better receiver for sure. All right, so let's get past that one. It's pretty straightforward. Clemson giving, is that 3.5 Moen to Georgia Tech? And I took Clemson. Everybody took Clemson except for Pickles and Daniel. They think that Georgia Tech can cover. Can one of you guys defend Georgia Tech pick?
That is like the hot pick of the week. Everyone's going on Georgia Tech to win outright this game.
Wow.
I don't think so. Not so fast and stuff. I think Clemson shows who they are, shows who we thought they were, and I think they win this game by 2 scores.
Okay. I think that's reasonable. That's what I was thinking, about 9 or 10.
I agree. This is, again, Haynes King. I love him, but, I was also a Braxton Miller fan, and I saw what running constantly did to his body.
Yeah.
I just think Clemson's got a great front four. They keep trying to run him. He's just going to get beat up.
They were in my championship game pick. Clemson has to win.
Yeah.
They need to
I had Clemson too. I've got him in my championship game pick, but I think Clemson covers by a touchdown at least.
Okay. Pitt is that giving 7.5 to West Virginia at West Virginia.
Yep.
I took West Virginia. It's a tough place to play. And I think that they keep them under 8 points or 7.5 points. What do you guys think about that? It was me and you are the only two. Sorry, and Daniel. Moen, defend Pitt.
I'm not going to defend Pitt as much as I'm going to say you got to go back and look at the West Virginia game from last week. They also lost their star running back. I'm not saying Pitt's a world beater or anything, but WVU is down bad. And I think Pitt.
Think Neil Brown's going to get fired this year?
Well, he doesn't coach there. Rich Rod does now.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Yeah. Well, yeah. Wow. I just went.
Yeah. But I think Narduzzi is going to lay it on West Virginia.
Okay.
Rivalry game. They're going to make
West
it.
Virginia, Moen.
I understand that, but I mean, it's Listen, I actually on my parlay, I jumped in on this at Pitt at 4.5.
Wow.
The line has moved. Last I saw, the line had moved to like 8.5.
So what does that mean then for you? I'm a little mixed up on. Does
That
mean?
means I only need Pitt to win by 5 points.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
on my
definitely better
parlay.
than
On
8.
this, you need Pitt to win by 8 points.
Right,
But the line
right.
has moved since then to where
Okay.
people, if you're picking Pitt now, Pitt has to win by 9 points.
Yeah, that's
Unbelievable. Seriously.
That's crazy.
So the money went on Pitt. All the money went on Pitt.
Look, Pitt got out to a roaring start last year and then fell apart. Why are people? I don't know. This if the Clemson Georgia Tech game is the one that most people are focusing on just for eyeballs, I think this West Virginia Pitt game is intriguing just because of the rivalry. So, anyways, backyard brawl. There you go, Daniel. There's your $5 super chat payback. And I picked West Virginia, so you got to give me props, brother. Me and you, we're covering for you. Let's see, Georgia giving 3.5. Yes, giving 3.5 to Tennessee. Again, Moen, you picked Tennessee at home.
Yeah, and again, simply because this is a home game, I think that gives them an advantage, at least a 3-point advantage for Tennessee.
Okay.
Georgia may win this game, but I think it's going to be really close. I think this is going to come down to the fourth quarter, and I think this will end up being a battle of field goal kickers. And because of that, give me Tennessee.
Georgia has too much quality, guys.
Yeah, I think so
quality
too.
Still.
Yep.
It does seem like it's a program that's on like the slow decline, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've had challenges
like that.
Yeah,
it just seems like they've kind of lost their juice a little bit. But I think that they have the quality over Tennessee. I'm not sold on Tennessee. I think Georgia wins this game by a touchdown.
I'm with you. I think Tennessee's overrated. They were last year as well. They traded their quarterback with UCLA. We've seen how that quarterback played at UCLA, and I'm not thinking that he's going to do any better at Tennessee. So I think at the end of the day, Georgia needs to do something. I agree with you. They do feel like, well, maybe they're just naturally coming back to the pack, just like Alabama has, because Ute, NIL, everybody can pay
sharing NIL, baby.
Yeah, it's changing everything. It's going to take time for everybody to see the arc, but it is changing. Believe me. The SEC, that's why Greg Sankey's trying to get as much power now as he can, because he sees on the horizon maybe the SEC isn't going to have the dominant position they've had for the last 15 years. All right. Last one on this slide, we got University of South Florida, 17.5. This is a premier game this week at Miami. Miami's feeling chagrined. Like, what is going on? How are the people even thinking that these guys will be in the game? I took the points. Again, 17.5. Miami played well. But where are we going with this? So all of us took USF and the points. Rock is the only one, again, obviously, picking Miami. I think a lot of this has to do where this game's being played. It's not in the Orange Bowl. I think that makes a difference.
How much does USF have left in the Magic? I mean, Boise State, you win big. Florida, it's been magical. Yeah. 2 ranked teams back-to-back, going to go 3. Most people are saying no. Yeah. Miami's the best team that they've played out of the bunch. It's at Miami. You can see kind of why the shine's off. But 17.5 is the kicker. If it's 17 clean or 16.5, I'd feel a little bit more uncomfy, but like 17.5 is just too many. And so USF is a good football team. Give me USF. Probably lose this football game by anywhere from 10 to 17 points.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's a great assessment. Moen?
Listen, USF has beat 2 ranked teams as double-digit dogs.
Yeah, they're the only ones in the country, by the way.
The only ones in the country.
Yeah.
I'm not saying USF is going to win this game, but we saw Miami. They struggled a little bit against Notre Dame.
They did.
USF.
They got.
I'm not comparing USF to Notre Dame.
Right, they're not the same for sure.
They're not the same, but you know, I just 17.5 is way too many points for me. I'm taking the Bulls.
Very good. Awesome. I think that's a good slate of picks, that first 5. Outside of Utah playing Wyoming and BYU being off, these are great games to fill the gap. Washington being off doesn't help either. Ohio, here we go. Here's another one. Ohio plus 31.5. What's that line now, Moen? Is it 31 or 33? What's the line at on that one?
Let me check real quick.
Yeah,
Check
at
my-
Ohio State.
Yep.
Again, I'm picking the dog. I took the points. I watched highlights of that game, and let's see, 31.5 is a lot, and Ohio's not terrible.
No, Ohio's a decent football team.
Yeah.
Like Ohio State's going to win this football game, but not by 31.5.
That's a
It's
lot.
going to be less than that. Ohio's going to punch Ohio State. Look, hey, I'm down big on the Big Ten, Nate. I am selling Big Ten stock. Oh, sell SEC stock, buy Big 12 stock.
Buy Big 12. Let's
buy.
go. Let's go. I love it. Okay,
Sell
Mullen.
that Big Ten stock. Go Ohio Bobcats. Lose. Moen,
Hey,
if you lose
Stephen
this football
Vitt,
game,
where's
what would
he
you do?
at, man? I'm voting for you, Stephen. I'm with you, brother. Okay, Mullen, go ahead. Ohio State, Ohio.
I'm taking Ohio State again. I understand it's 31.5 points. It's in the shoe. It's at night. Julian Sand was pretty impressive stat wise. I get it. It was grambling, but he's getting comfortable. The wide receiver room at Ohio State is just insane, guys. It is absolutely insane. There's 3 guys on that team that could be wide receiver 1 at any college program.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think Ohio State probably does pour on some points again. Let Julian Sand get more comfortable. Let Jeremiah Smith get his yards. Let Carnell Tate make some incredible aerobic, extraordinary catch. And for the love of God, let's try and get the run game going, because we're going to need a run game late in the season. So I'm taking Ohio State. I'm taking the points. I get it. 31.5 is a hell of a lot of points.
It is.
I get it. But listen, I think Ohio State could win this one by 55-7.
Okay. See, there you go. Let's see here. Next game is Vanderbilt getting 3.5 at South Carolina. 5.5. Is that right? 5.5.
Yeah.
At South Carolina. What was the point spread, by the way? Is it 31.5 for that Ohio State game? Did it stay there?
As of right now, it's still 31.5.
Okay, it hasn't moved. So Vanderbilt is plus 3.5 playing at South Carolina. I think South Carolina is going to come out and whoop on them. The only person to take him is Pickles. Can either of you guys defend Vanderbilt?
No.
Okay, all right, we can move on.
They beat Virginia Tech last week, but Virginia Tech absolutely quit on the field. So
Yeah, they did not look great.
They quit on the field in the second half. They quit on that coach. That coach needs to go. This is in South, and I'm not underselling Vanderbilt, but this is in South Carolina. The quarterback is so dynamic, and he can, make plays from anywhere on the field. South Carolina, though, gonna have to get that defense a little more tuned up. This isn't the old Vanderbilt. That Vanderbilt can go out and score. They scored 24 unanswered on Virginia Tech in the second half of this game the past weekend.
I think that Lenore Sellers needs his goggles back.
I agree with that.
Much juice last year. Remember his goggles that he was wearing stuff?
Yes.
Like an old school basketball player?
Yeah, Kurt Rambis style. Yeah.
Kurt Rambis. Like
Kurt
he needs
Rambis
to bring the
style.
goggles back, get the juice back,
I
and
agree.
get this team moving.
Put the team on your back and carry them to where you want to be. You bitched and moaned. You didn't make the playoff. You have the team to do it this year. You can't go out and not perform against teams like Vanderbilt, because the rest of the SEC is not going to roll over for you. So you got to start winning games like this. I like South Carolina, but they need to step it up. All right. This is the game that I can't wait to see the final score. LSU hosting Florida. Okay, so it's in Death Valley, and it's only 7.5. Now, I don't know what Vegas is looking at, but this Florida team, there is no way in hell they can keep LSU. This might be 20 or 25 points.
Yeah,
this might be an absolute blowout.
I'm with you.
Here's what Vegas is looking at, though. The LSU Clemson game. LSU only managed to score 17. Troy was up on Clemson 16-0. The LSU's offense did struggle a bit against Clemson. Florida does have some 4- and 5-star kids. They've just got a 1-star coach.
Yeah,
there's no getting around it. Billy Napier is going to get fired at the end of the season, as he should.
By week 5.
Yeah, he should have fired last season. I don't care how great he recruits. You can have a bunch of 5 stars on the field, and if you don't coach them right, you ain't winning games.
Yeah.
17.5-point favorites over USF, and USF comes in to the Swamp, which the Swamp used to be fabled, guys.
It did, yeah.
Right.
Steve Spurrier, the fun and gun, man. Nobody wanted to go in the Swamp
No.
and play.
No.
And, you know.
Do we know the time of this game? Is it a night game? If it's a night game, the final score might be 50-10 or something.
Man, it could be.
LSU is gonna be right there challenging for the national championship this year. That's how balanced they are.
I don't know how good LSU is. I think Florida's just bad.
Yeah,
Florida is bad.
I guess we'll find out one way or the other. But all of us took LSU, so anyway, we're all front runners. Texas A&M getting. So this is interesting. Texas A&M getting 6.5 at Notre Dame. I am not a fan of either of these teams naturally, but I took Texas A&M in the points. I'm not sold on Notre Dame. Moen, you took Notre Dame, which is funny to me. You and I took the points. Tell us why Notre Dame wins this game.
It's in South Bend.
Yeah.
And I don't think Texas A&M has looked very good at all this season.
Okay.
Home field advantage for the Irish. Carr, he is settling in. I think he will end up being a very good quarterback for Notre Dame, which I don't like because he's a Carr. He's a Michigan guy.
Is he one of the Cars?
He is one of the Cars.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
He is one of
the. It's
the
a famous family, so
famous family for Michigan, and he went to play at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But I do like him. I think he is a competent quarterback. I think he can run that system. And listen, Marcus Freeman, he's a great head coach, great defensive mind. They're going to shut the Aggies down. The Aggies don't have the offensive firepower that Miami had. So I like Notre Dame shutting them down. I think Notre Dame might win this game by 14.
All right, you tell Moen why he's wrong.
Moen could be right about this one. This is like one of those picks that's like, hey, it's a 50-50. I just like the Aggies more than the Irish.
Yeah. Just
in general and stuff. The Aggie fan base is like fantastic. The Irish.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's like, hey, 50-50. I just want to see Notre Dame go down again. I want to see them 0-2 and out of the rankings.
We need them out of there. We need them out of there.
I can't give you a lot of justification of why it's going to happen, but it's a hope.
I will just say this: I just want Notre Dame to lose. So that's how I went with my pick. All right, the last pick, and the one I'm not sure how much conversation we're going to have about it, but Moen put in there Duke -1.5 because Utah plays Wyoming and BYU's not playing anybody this week. Duke traveling to Tulane. Explain this to me, guys. Tulane is talking about going now with two quarterbacks. The starting quarterback's now unhurt, so now you have Jake Retzlaff, who's played pretty well, and now they're saying maybe they'll play both quarterbacks. That could be a recipe for disaster for Tulane.
I'll tell you why.
That came out after my picks, by the way.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I put this game on here. USF, Tulane. They do not have to play each other during the regular season.
That's right. It's championship game matchup. Yeah.
This could be a championship game matchup.
Yep.
This could be a year 2 G6 schools get into the college football playoff, guys.
No.
I'm telling you, if Tulane can make it through undefeated, if they can beat Duke here, which I don't think they will, I've got Duke. But if they can play Duke close, if USF can play Miami close, they go undefeated through their regular seasons. They play each other in the championship game. It's a close game. I think it's entirely possible that USF and Tulane could both make the college football playoff.
Okay. I think that's impossible, but I understand what you're saying. I get it.
They can't both go undefeated.
Yeah, well, 13-0, 12-1. That's what he's saying.
Well, they can both go undefeated.
That's what I just said.
In their conference play.
That's what I was just saying.
That'd be an eliminated game, in my view.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think.
It would be interesting, though, and who would miss out on the playoff spot? I mean, the Big 12 is probably looking at one. Anyway, they're going to get in. It's not like the Big 12.
I don't know. There's 6 teams.
The Big 10 or the SEC losing a spot, probably.
Right this second, the Big 12 has 7 or 8 teams. They're all playing pretty good. So it is possible. this could be the year. Again, we need Notre Dame out of the picture. If Notre Dame drops out, the Big 12 could get 2 teams in. It's pretty simple because Notre Dame normally takes that other spot, which is why we need to go to 16. Anyway, different conversation.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the picks, though? And I'll tell you why I've got Duke.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Duke played very well against Illinois last weekend. They just made too many mistakes.
Okay.
I think Duke is a good team. Greg was on earlier tonight. He talked about the quarterback transfer from Tulane who went to Duke.
Is that right? Isn't that funny?
Boatload of money.
Wow.
Duke ponied up and paid him. I think he's a good quarterback. Illinois is just a great defense. I don't think Tulane's as good a defense as Illinois is. So I've got Duke. I know it's going to Tulane. I still got Duke winning this and bouncing back. And it's only like a 1.5 point.
1.5 is what it said.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's just too overwhelming for me for Duke.
Why is Duke's very unimpressive to me? Their crowd's unimpressive. The game was unimpressive last week. I watched it for 5 minutes and turned it off because people won't even show up for Duke games live. Why should I watch it on TV? That's a good question, right, Moan? Like, why would you even go? Like, Duke Duke just smells so overrated. I think they're gonna get their butts handed to them by Tulane. Can't wait for it to happen. And plus, like, didn't Mensa come from Tulane?
Yeah.
That's what he just said.
Oh my gosh, dude, this smells like Tulane blowout, big time. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see this, baby.
So now you're gonna watch. You were just saying,
I'm not gonna watch anytime Duke's on in football. I'm not gonna watch it no matter what. Seriously,
okay.
I can totally sell out their own stadium. I'm not gonna watch it.
Before I get rid of the slide and we start talking more super chats, anything else you guys want to say about these 10 games? Any last words about these for this week?
Yeah, could you go back to the other slide here, Nate?
Sure can, yeah.
Florida, LSU, and Texas A&M, Notre Dame. They're both played at 7:30 at night.
Oh, baby. I'm telling you right now,
night
Florida's going to
games
get
in South Bend, night game at LSU. The Ohio game, that is also played at 7 at night.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's on Peacock.
That's on Peacock, yep.
That's on Peacock.
Yeah. I love Peacock, by the way. They do my Premier League. By the way, Liverpool 3-0, baby. Going to be playing Burnley this weekend. Let's go. Got to keep winning. All right. So we're done with picks. Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun. Those were good games, Moen. Thank you very much for your work, putting all that stuff together. We know how much time you put into that. So thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. All right. While we were doing that, we got a bunch of super chats. So let's burn through those too. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Heartbreak 25 was the next one in line. Heartbreak 25 is a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Make sure Heartbreak 25, you are watching our member videos. Moen just previewed one at the beginning of the show. Just go to it's the membership tab on the main page, and all of our member videos are listed right there. You won't miss them. $5 super chat saying, any thoughts on Adidas signing Tennessee and Penn State from Nike by contributing directly to athlete? Oh, I love this question. I'm answering first. Directly to athlete NIL. Will other teams follow like USC? Adidas just bought into Liverpool too. They are spending massive amounts of money on new, advertising essentially, and for the money to go right to the NIL collectives, or at least part of it. Now all of a sudden you have that third party, and you can say we're attached to a sneaker deal. That's going to take their CSD and the NIL go completely out of it. And you're getting money to the athletes that you need. So I love this. I think every school should be doing stuff like this. BYU does this, by the way, with Jumpman at Nike. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't know that the BYU was Jumpman.
Yeah. Well, it came along with AJ DeBanza and stayed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's a genius. Easy NIL, like more money to the players and everything. It's getting cool swag. You're going to see more of this. A lot more of this. It's brilliant. This is exactly what NIL was for, is this type of thing too. So all for it.
Moen?
Yeah, it's not exactly groundbreaking though, because Nike's
I didn't say it was groundbreaking. I said
Nike's been contributing to the NIL at Oregon for the last 30 years. So,
I'm not saying Adidas invented it. That's not what
I know.
I'm
just
okay.
Relax, Bomber. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'll ring a bell.
All right.
Okay. But yeah, it's not groundbreaking. Nike's been doing this for 30 years at Oregon. So leave hateful comments, Oregon fans, in the video. I will respond to them.
Oh my gosh. We need to do another NIL video to sort of tell everybody where we are with CSC and NIL Go. I think we'll probably do that in the off season, but we will have to dive into some member videos to explain kind of how that's all working now.
By
What
the
were you
way, can
saying?
I just say this?
Yeah,
Dan
go ahead.
Lanning came out and said it wasn't fair that he didn't have enough prep time against other Big Ten teams. And that really shocked me
Damn.
because they had plenty of prep time in the college football playoff. In the first game they played, they got blown out.
It's ironic that he would
And
say that.
his excuse was, I had too much rest time.
Yeah.
So which is it, Dan? It's not enough prep time or it's too much prep time?
I don't think he wins a natty at Oregon. That's all. I'm on record saying that. I don't think it happens for those reasons. Why make excuses? You have the largest NIL in the world. Of all NILs, Oregon's the godfather of it. It seems really ridiculous that he would complain that he has too little or too much of anything. He probably has 500 coaches. Probably has a coach for every player. So come on.
I'm going to say, after watching that Oklahoma State game, if Oregon doesn't win a national championship this year,
no, I don't think so.
I don't know that they ever will.
Right. Well, we said that about last year's team.
Yeah.
Amazing Blue, $2 super chat, valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Go Blue. Utah loses against every quality team in the Big. Oh my gosh, you are just getting piled on here. Every big team. And what did you do here, Moen? What are you doing?
This is ESPN FPI.
Oh, you're doing this, Ute. Okay.
Yeah, so Utah Utes right here in FPI, number 14, and Michigan Wolverines sitting at 29. If there was a betting spread on this game, the Utah Utes be favored over the Michigan Wolverines. Just had to point that out. And the Washington Huskies, who's sitting at 30, and most of the Big Ten Conference. Oh, look, even BYU. Look, BYU and Utah would be punked and favored over a lot of these Big Ten teams. Mom, look at me, marginal Big Ten teams there are over here. Look at this. We got Rutgers, we got Wisconsin, Iowa.
Do you know what FPI stands for, you?
It sounds for suck.
Fantasy and pure imagination. This is all ESPN's. Now go to the top. Let's see how many SEC teams are at the top of the FPI.
Lord.
You know what? We can put away the
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we're only talking Big Ten, Mo.
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh, that was funny.
Look, I'm just telling you this. I hope Ohio State doesn't have to play Utah this year because Utah's going to beat Ohio State if they have to play them. I'm just telling you that. I'm throwing it down right now. And if Utah ever gets in the Big Ten Conference, it'll be the biggest thorn in the side of Ohio State ever. I promise you this. Ever. Utah will be the thorn in Ohio State's side forever.
Okay, sure thing, you. Sure thing.
I love it. This is fantastic. I'm just surprised so many there. Everybody's coming. Amazing Blue again, another $5 super chat. Braxton, also an alum from my high school, like Marcus Freeman. So
yeah, just a shame. He would have been one of the all-time great quarterbacks if he didn't get injured.
Who?
Still remember that great play though against Virginia Tech, the Madden spin.
Braxton,
do you guys remember that one?
Braxton
Miller.
Braxton Miller. Okay.
He was a quarterback at Ohio State. He got injured. He went undefeated Urban Meyer's first season. Just an incredible quarterback. Would have been one of the all-time greats, but he just hurt his shoulder 2 seasons in a row. Switched over to wide receiver. He is the wide receiver who had the Madden move in the Virginia Tech game, where he literally catches a pass and spins, and it looks like something out of a video game.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Amazing Blue. We appreciate you. To Town Hawk coming in representing Kansas and the Big 12, $5 super chat. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family, saying a great week for a bye. Next week's opponent, West Virginia, plays the Backyard Brawl. Let's get back on track, KU. Looking forward to watching games on TNT. TNT's production value, everybody. If you haven't been watching any of the stuff that the Big 12 has been doing with TNT, HBO at all, you're missing out. It's the highest quality you'll see anywhere. It's much better than Amazon Plus. And I love it. I love what they're doing there. KU losing last week really pissed me off. So, yeah.
They posted a 1.9 million rating on ESPN2. That's the best I've ever seen, guys.
That's good. That's good.
It's excellent. Yeah, that KU Missouri game was fun to watch. Good stuff. Good Big 12 football. Mon, did you watch that? Did you watch?
No,
KU?
but I can guarantee you, ESPN executives chalked it up to Mizzou playing, not Kansas.
Of course he did.
They
Hey,
said,
give him that Jayhawk squawk.
Go
Put
ahead.
that,
Yeah, do that. Give him a sounder.
Jayhawk squad.
There we go. Do you want to do another one? We've covered a couple. Amazing Blue, we already did him.
Well,
Heartbreak. We don't know Heartbreak sounder.
We do. It's Penn State.
Okay, thank you. See, I didn't
We've
know
done
that.
so many. Here's Hail to the Victors yet again.
And then is there a Penn State? You could run the BYU Cougar if you want. There we go. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. College football, peek around the corner with Greg Pflugar, friend of the show, mentor at all. We really appreciate him being a friend and helping us do everything we do here. It says, in the wild, a golden gopher would destroy a golden bear in a fight. Same outcome on football field in Berkeley, California, come tomorrow night. Minnesota has to beat Cal. You have just put them away early. It shocked the world and shut down this true freshman quarterback they got, who's really good. You guys got to win that game, Greg. What do you guys think?
Minnesota will win that football game, and Minnesota is going to compete for a playoff spot.
There we go.
Very favorable schedule. I love it. I want to see Minnesota play Utah in the semifinals. The college football playoff, baby.
There you go.
That's my wish, Greg, for us.
Greg, I took Cal.
We didn't actually. Why wasn't that one of our picks? That's a good pick.
Because listen, it's Cal versus Minnesota. Come on, guys.
I'm just
good game, man.
I think Minnesota has to win. That's all I'm saying. It's not a joke. Minnesota's got to go out there and beat them.
Yeah, and there's no way a gopher is defeating a bear in any fight.
Do we have a gopher sound? Do we have a Minnesota?
Well, I'll give him a Minnesota sound, but there's no way a gopher's defeating a bear in a fight.
I don't know. We can imagine it. I love these fight songs. All sound the same.
A bear with a bullet in its brain could beat a gopher in its death throes. I mean, let's
not talk about that tonight, Mo.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate the $10 super chat. You're helping get to our goal. For some reason, I'm not seeing our goal tab, Mo, and it disappeared.
That's because you don't have the YouTube chat up.
Oh,
it 12 out of 15.
That. All right. 14?
12 out of 15.
Smokes,
12. Wow, good job, guys, for overtime. That's fantastic. Just need 3 more. $5 super chats or greater, and Moen will stay overtime and do some ungodly things to his body.
No, Moen's actually going to give us some intel on, was it KU?
I'm going to talk to
Okay, let's get to this first. 5 gifted memberships from us to you. The College Football Mafia family is giving out 5 new memberships. Moen, what happened there?
We get free memberships to give out every month, and we just released a new members video.
Thank you.
For people to check out. So now Go Black 45. Sorry about the washer dryer situation.
Yeah,
if
baby.
you are a member, you can watch the member video.
Love it.
BR 7062, Buckshot Kid,
excellent.
Secret Agent, David Kreitzer. We're all memberships by the College Football Mafia. Please enjoy those and use those to enjoy the member comments. Or content, enjoy those to use the emotes. You get special O-Face as member, including Wild Utes O-Face. Wild Ute O-Face.
Play it sounder, Mo, in the short one.
Hold on.
That one's got to be like your number 1.
Well,
the
long
one
not on the soundboard
anymore.
anymore. Too bad. Fucking you and sucking you. You're sick of it. I get it.
Nobody knows context around that anymore. It was so long ago. If you received a membership, do consider paying it forward, giving other people memberships. That's how we keep this thing growing. We get new people in to watch our member videos and grow the community. And karma is real. You do good things, you get the good things back, which is certainly something we encourage around here. Do unto others. We want to be selfless and hug your families and take care of your friends. That's what really matters. And all this stuff is entertainment, but the rest of it, we really appreciate you guys. Okay, Moen, I think, that's it. Okay, that's all the super chats, Moen. So now I'm going to give you whatever time you want to take. Just so you know, I do have to leave in about 10 minutes. So if
Okay.
you want my opinion at all about what you're going to be saying, you'll have to stop a little early than that.
Okay. Let's get this super chat from Nitwit that came in. This big boy.
Oh, I missed. I didn't see a super chat.
Just
Oh,
came
it
in.
just came in right. $50 super chat. What the heck's
50
going on
piece.
here?
We've
We
hit the
are.
goal.
$50.
Uh,
PSU Nitwit stud. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. On September 27th, we'll all get to experience a true whiteout in Happy Valley.
Yeah,
Bring on the Ducks. Nitwit, is that game? What time is that game?
that's
If
got to
that's
be a night game. That's
Oh.
got to be a night game.
Oh, that's going to be a
Better not be
fantastic.
big
Prime time.
Don't
That
be
has
big
to be.
noon.
Has to be
Yeah,
prime time.
If that's big noon, the Big Ten just should shut down. Just quit operation.
Oh, that's an awesome game. That is going to be a fantastic.
Yes, it is.
game.
There is no doubt. In fact,
7:30
that week-
p.m.
Oh
This is
yeah, there
a
we go.
night
I
whiteout
love it.
at Happy Valley. If you
I
have
love
not
it.
experienced a whiteout at Happy Valley at
Yeah.
night, guys, you have to experience it.
I
It
do
is
wanna do that.
incredible. It's one of the loudest stadiums in the world. I know
Right.
Autzen. Everybody says Autzen is loud. Wait till you
Nah,
get
Autzon's just not 'cause-
90,000 plus Penn
Yeah.
State fans decked out in white who've been
Yes.
drinking since about 3 into that stadium. I can tell you it sounds a lot like let me get the Penn State. We
Okay,
are
go ahead. Yeah.
it's
That's right. They do that. Oh.
and
Yep.
then every touchdown, every defensive stop, every great play by Penn State, it's
There you go. There you go. Although I
thank you
think
for
it's
the
a
50
cougar and not a
piece.
Nittany
Yeah,
lion,
thank you
but
for the 50 piece Nitwit.
Thank you so much,
Awesome,
Nitwit.
dude. September 27th, just around the corner. Dude, that's a good game. People want to know why the Big Ten got such a great media deal. Right there.
By the way, there's comments about that maybe that media deal doesn't ever come back.
Yeah.
That valuation might be the biggest ever for the next 20, 30 years. So we'll have to see what the
I think
next
it's going to
thing.
be a lot bigger, unfortunately.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
do.
it is, but it'll be uneven revenue sharing. It'll be something. Moen's going to go into that. But really quick,
TV
just on
numbers.
the whiteout thing, BYU tries to do the whiteout thing, and I absolutely hate it. That Penn State should be the only school that can do a whiteout. I think they ought to copyright it. They need to protect it. And Happy Valley at night whiteout, it should be a yearly requirement.
But how many seats does the stadium at BYU hold?
65,000.
There you go.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
not
Penn-
saying they can
yeah.
compete. I don't like the whiteout at all. I'm just saying
Okay.
I think Penn State should be the only school that does it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think Penn State should be the only school that does it because they've got enough
Agreed.
seats and I mean it's just
completely
it's huge.
I hate it at BYU. I want royal. So, okay, Moen, now you can go ahead. Tell everybody kind of what you wanted to say about the president of Ohio State and his comments about uneven revenue sharing in the Big Ten.
Okay. Last week, I don't know if y'all remember, you tuned into the Big Freaking Friday Show. We know you tuned into the Big Freaking Friday Show. It's the best show on Friday on the internet.
Yes, sir.
We know you tuned in. You watched me eat Skyline chili. You complained that I was being too vague about my realignment talk.
Oh, really? You got
Yes,
feedback that it was
yes.
vague.
People complained that I was too vague.
Wow. Okay.
This week, I got proven right. Ted Carter, the president of Ohio State, came out and said that at some point, unequal revenue sharing from the media deal would be a point of conversation. This is why teams like Maryland, Northwestern, these smaller schools are for a 20-team faction. They do not want to thin out their media deal more than anyone else. And I understand. I talked to Greg today. Greg doesn't feel this way. Greg and I are in disagreement on this. He thinks that Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State will get a little more because they're stewards of the conference. I referred Greg to a story that I read as a kid and said, if you give a mouse a cookie. You guys ever read it? It's a
Yes,
very
I have,
popular
actually.
children's story. Yes, you give a
I read
mouse
it.
a cookie.
Yep.
He wants this. He wants this. He wants this. He wants this. By the end of it, I think the mouse forecloses on their house. Yeah, it's just crazy. Here's the thing. If you give Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan unequal revenue share, what is USC going to do?
They're going to
Need it
demand
too.
unequal
They're
revenue
going to
share.
demand it too.
Yeah,
Let's-
they're
let's-
LA, and they're going to
let's-
get it. By the way,
yeah,
they're
they'll-
going to
they'll
whether
get
they're
it.
good or not. They're going to get it.
And let's say Oregon wins their national championship this year.
Then they
has
might
record,
get some of it.
has record ratings. What's Oregon going to get?
Their normal
know?
share.
Yeah, I don't think they're
I
Ohio
don't
State,
think so.
USC, Penn State, Michigan.
I think you're going to create dissension in the ranks with unequal revenue share.
But you have to put that up against survival, Moen. You have to put that up against Minnesota. Doesn't want to get relegated either, so they're going to take something that keeps them in the Big Ten, even if that means it's unequal.
I'm sure they will. But I'm not for this. I'm an alumnus at Ohio State. I wrote a letter to President Ted Carter. I am not for unequal revenue sharing in the Big Ten. I think it goes against everything that the conference stands for. I am not for it. People can say, yeah, Ohio State makes the best ratings and the most money and all this stuff. But the great thing about the Big Ten is everybody plays their part. Ohio State doesn't want to play home games in November. Minnesota wants to play home games in November. Let them. Everybody gives something to the Big Ten. But now
why are you worshiping the Big Ten altar, though, Moen? You're Ohio State. Ohio State. You shouldn't be worshiping, but they should be coming to you begging for you just to keep them in the club.
Absolutely not. That is not what the Big Ten is based on. It is not. It goes against the very spirit.
But this
of
isn't
our
a conference thing. This is a media deal thing. This is an athletic department thing. You can't look at it from the university perspective. You have to look at it from the athletic media value, everything else that goes with that perspective.
I diametrically oppose that viewpoint, Nate.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair.
I think it's all part of the same thing. You can say Northwestern's a terrible football team. That's great. Northwestern does $1 billion+ in research, and they collaborate with Big Ten schools.
Right.
Everybody does something in the Big Ten to help the Big Ten.
But what is this? That won't change.
Yes, it will.
Why would the media evaluation?
You're absolutely saying this team
change their endowment, how much money they pay into research. They're not connected at all.
You're absolutely doing that. You're saying that this team is better than. And what you're going to end
team.
School. It's school too.
It isn't.
It is. And what you're going to happen is when you have schools out of top stratification making more money, the schools below them are going to have a harder and harder time.
Yes, that is the reality. That's where we're at.
Right now, the Big Ten is in a renaissance. We've got Illinois. We've got Indiana. We've got these middle tier teams that are coming up that are becoming playoff teams.
Well,
why take that away from them?
Right. Yeah.
Why take that away from them? I don't
think you
agree.
Because you can.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Why take USC
here?
from the Pac-12? Because you can, Moen. That's how it goes.
Sometimes. Yeah, it's the same.
Sometimes you got to be a bully, just like the Big Ten's been.
That's exactly right. What you just did is exactly right.
And everything with this stuff, and
the Big Ten stole USC and destroyed the Pac-12. Wasn't that for money, media value, and everything else?
Let's stop with USC got stolen. USC called the Big Ten.
But that doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is, are you taking in the school?
Are
you
Tony Altimore leaving the Pac-12?
Are you Tony Altimore all of a sudden? Now it's AAU. Let's talk education. Let's talk endowment amounts.
No. It's the spirit of the conference.
Oh, okay. Well,
I guess you guys don't understand that as a Big 12.
I understand it.
And the actuality of what happens in the Big Ten. There's a lot of lip service, but it's freaking cutthroat as crap. And this will be cutthroat as crap too, Moen. The same thing is like, okay, we'll take care of everybody. Yeah, right. We're going to freaking take your knees out, man. We all know it's happening like that because that's how the world works.
And that's not how it should work in the Big Ten. And
that's fair.
I disagree with it.
Yeah.
And that is why there are teams like Maryland that are supporting a 20-team faction who don't want big brands as part of expansion.
Of course not.
Why
They don't
would
want any
you-
more competition. They already
Yes.
picked up competition.
Why would you add Clemson and Florida State and make your share even lower? Because
Or you keep
Clemson.
you keep your share, but you're just pushed farther down in the pecking order. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, you keep your share at 100 million,
Yeah.
but schools above you make 200 million.
Why does it matter?
You
It's all
can't
in
compete.
relation to the rest. If you're making, let me give you a contrast. The Big Ten, let's say it's 20 schools now. It doesn't matter who you guys pick up. You're the Big Ten, 20 schools. You have the rest of college football. If Indiana's getting 100 million and OSU's getting 200 million, it's still double what the Big 12's getting. So you're still in the game. Challenging for a national championship, we hope goes to 16, maybe to 24 teams. That includes a bunch of middle of the road brands are going to be competing every year. That means a Minnesota can be competitive at that middle range of earning money. So the spirit of the, Ohio State supporting Northwestern, that's great. It's an ideal, but we're talking about bare bones money. And Bob Thompson was very clear. Conference is cool, but we're talking about brands. We're talking about rivalries. We're talking about how many eyeballs are watching the game, not where you live or how many people live in your proximity. It makes a huge difference.
This too? Isn't Ohio State driving this conversation, Mo?
I thought they
maybe
were.
you don't feel that way.
Ted
your school
Carter
feels
is
that way.
driving this conversation, and as an alumnus, I wrote a letter to Ted Carter. I
think that's very fair. I love that.
I do not agree with this.
I love it.
Greg made a great point. He said, "Well, they should get more because they're stewards of the conference. If you're a steward of the conference, you do not want unequal revenue share.
But
you
again,
want everybody to be equals within our conference."
But Moen, you are a steward if you're protecting the middle of the road schools. You are a steward, a good steward.
Okay, I don't think you're protecting middle of the road schools by saying, "Give me double the money you get."
Let's look at it a different way. Instead of looking at about what they don't get, why don't you look at the top 5, 6 brands that do get? Let's talk about those instead. Why should a Michigan want to do anything more than build Michigan? They want to be in the Big Ten. They want to have all that elitism, but they're cheating to win national championships. So they're willing to do whatever it takes to do that. I find it hard to believe that in 5 years, the world has completely changed than it was 3 years ago. In 5 years that they're not going to say, write us a check, man. We won an Natty. We're challenging for 2 more.
They might, and I don't like Michigan. We've been through this, but I think Michigan is probably.
That was just an example.
I think Michigan. I think a lot of Michigan alums are probably on the same point that I am, that they don't want unequal revenue share.
So you're saying the spirit of the game. That's really what it comes down to.
It's the spirit of the conference.
I appreciate that.
Our conference goes all the way back to 1896. We brought him. I completely understand new teams coming in making less for an extended period of time until Oregon, Washington are making less.
Right.
When the next media deal comes to pass, they will be made whole. The same thing that happened with Rutgers and Maryland. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with the buy-in. I have an issue with Ohio State saying, well, we've been the ratings driver for the last 15 years, so Northwestern, you're making less money, because the situation is it's not just going to be the top 4 or 5 teams making unequal revenue share and everybody else making the same. It's not. It's a give a mouse a cookie scenario. You're going to have.
We're not really sure what it'll be, right?
You're going to have number 1 tier, number 2 tier, number 3 tier, number 4 tier, number 5 tier.
Yeah.
I just disagree with that. I think it makes for a terrible football conference, or terrible athletic conference. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do that, at that point, just break free and become independent.
Well, here you go. Nitwit's got it. $5 super chat, and he's right on it. That's exactly what the next thing could be. Every school negotiating their own deal. That's what he says. Every team should become Notre Dame and negotiate their own media deals with media partners. 2 years ago, Ute and I talked about that specifically.
And he's not wrong. I mean, listen, if that's the way you want to go, you might as well do that. But I don't know.
I like the spirit of the game thing. I think
it violates the spirit of the conference.
I like that.
I love Ohio State. I understand Ohio State drives revenue in the media market. Everybody does their part, though. Minnesota plays Thursday night games. Nobody else wants to play Thursday night games.
There's
Right
plenty of
now,
schools that
Indiana's
love
playing a
Thursday.
Friday night
That's
game.
a small ask, Moan. Like, don't need to give me
I'm
that crap.
not
That's
saying
a
they're
bull
huge
crap.
asks. I'm not saying
See,
they're
those are
huge
small
asks.
asks. Anybody would do that kind of
But
stuff.
listen, it's still something. They contribute. Everybody contributes in their own way, and we're stronger together. I think once you format, you're putting dissension in the ranks when you start saying, okay, these 3, 4, 5 schools are number one. These 3, 4, 5 schools are number two. These 3, 4, 5 schools are number three. It doesn't work.
Paid the same in a company, Moan.
Yeah,
If you're the CEO of the company, you're not going to make the same as a teller or something in the banking industry. You've got tellers and CEOs in the Big Ten. That's the problem there, and everyone sees it and smells that stuff.
It's not a company. It's not a company.
It is a company.
Well, kind of actually, it is a company.
100%. It is a company. That's exactly what it is. You leave.
They're making money now, Mo, they're a profit center now. They used to be zero. Every school used to be pretty much zero net.
Every media deal
now they're making millions of dollars.
Every media deal that the Big Ten has negotiated, since they were allowed to negotiate their own contract, everybody has been an equal partner in it.
Yeah, well, the world's changed a lot.
I'm sorry. That's the spirit of the conference.
I appreciate that.
If we're gonna go to unequal revenue share, we might as well be the SEC.
Yeah,
we might as well be the SEC, because I'm sure the SEC will do that.
Let me ask you this from an Ohio State perspective, from your competition level. If you really want to compete for a national championship, though, wouldn't you love to be in a conference with just Alabama, Georgia, LSU? I think Ohio State would. If you could build a super conference with 16 teams, that is exactly what Ohio State would want.
No, that's what we should do. I mean, if we're going to unequal revenue share in the Big Ten, just leave the Big Ten.
We may do that.
Just create a 16-team Super League, and everybody else can fend for themselves and not make any money.
Yeah,
and we'll do that. We'll just be cutthroat barbarians and do that. But that is not the way. That is not the way the Big Ten was founded.
Right.
That is not the spirit of our conference. And that's part of the reason they're, again, I mentioned it last week, Maryland, Rutgers, Minnesota. Why would they be looking to add a Florida State and Clemson who would want to be at number one?
Yeah, but they'll bring in a lot more money than you'll pay them to join.
I don't think they will. I don't think that anybody brings.
If you're going to give them a half share, and you pick up Florida, and you pick up South Carolina,
I think you have to. The only one that brings money guaranteed is Notre Dame.
Well, they all
Notre Dame money. You could bring in as number one.
It's number one, but these other schools have value. You've broken it down 100 times. There is value in these other schools. Come on.
They have hypothetical value, though. The only thing in the contract is Notre Dame.
Okay, yeah, I guess we're sort of squirreling down. Oh, I got to get one more comment, and then I got to go. Mo, and there is this one that's in between. I'll leave to you, the troll grinding cheap clapper. Don't forget about it. But I wanted to get to this. Amazing Blue $5 super chat. And we're over we made your mark, I think. We beat 15 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. Yeah, excellent. Each team in the big serves purpose, and equal shares works for the team. So now you have an Ohio State guy saying that. You have a Michigan guy saying that. All you need is a Penn State guy to say that. All you need is a USC. I tell you right now, USC coming to the Big Ten, they're going to do anything they can to get on equal revenue share. They might not have a lot of political
they had it in the pack.
But they are absolutely going to try to push for the cutthroat thing. USC's only in it for USC. I promise you, has nothing to do with your academic alliance or any of the stuff that's going on with your research. USC just wants to do USC. So you're going to have to keep them in check is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. I got to go. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for having me tonight. Mo, when you have your show Friday night, right?
Well, tonight's Friday night.
Sunday. I'm sorry. Sunday night. I apologize.
Yeah, I have a show on Sunday night with Rock.
Right.
But we're going to do some overtime tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Kansas.
Okay.
And where people on the Kansas side of things feel about Big Ten expansion and SEC expansion. So,
all right, everybody have a great night.
We'll see you on Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night we have our call-in show. We'll talk about what happened over the weekend and what other news stuff pops up. We'll definitely cover. But I appreciate everybody that watches that show Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Should be a lot of fun. Ute, Moen, as always, love you guys. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Take care.
All right. We'll see you later.
Okay, to get back to my point a little bit, this is why I mentioned we talked about it last week. You remember Tarleton's, yes, absolutely. The breakfast of champions is a Tarleton and a glass of whiskey. But we talked about this, and people were upset that I wouldn't say consensus builder. Consensus builder. Who's a consensus
Oh my
builder?
gosh. So wait, hold on a second. Let's just slow down for a sec. So we were on this unequal revenue share, and
Yes.
the Wild you got a little upset, right? Because it goes back to the sucking you, sucking you, sucking you, sucking you, sucking you, sucking you. Look, you've got so many milk suckers in the Big Ten. As an outsider, it's difficult to see that and say, oh, you know what? Let's just share all the money with everybody else. You guys as Ohio State and Michigan have to play Big Noon every freaking week, and you hate it. You're doing your part and more by getting stuck in Big Noon every week, and you still give as much money to everybody? I don't get it, man.
Look, everybody plays their part. We're stronger together than we are
What
apart.
What does Indiana play? Please tell me. What does Purdue
Indiana
play?
is a basketball school.
Okay.
Indiana does good research. They're part of the leukemia research triangle with Ohio State and Michigan. Indiana does their part. Purdue, great engineering school, produces a lot of engineering research. Purdue is also a good basketball team. Purdue made it to the Final Four, I believe, this year. Purdue's football team, again, it's been down. Braum brought it back, and then he immediately went to Louisville, and they hired Ryan Walters, and it didn't work out. But Purdue, you remember when I said spoiler makers, Purdue has a good football team from time to time. As soon as we go to unequal revenue share, everybody at the top is going to be great. Everybody below them is going to be less than.
But Mo,
and you're not going to have mid-tier.
That's why they play on Thursdays and Fridays, because they don't win. When's the last time Purdue beat Ohio State?
Illinois.
It's already happened. That's the thing is like, what
Illinois.
do you want? Like, you're already beating them every week.
Here's my point. Indiana and Illinois have not been relevant in 20 plus years in regards to football. Indiana had one season during COVID, and they overpaid Tom Allen as a result of it. But they haven't been shit for 20, 25 years. Ron Zook was the last coach at Illinois who did anything.
Dang.
Yeah, Ron Zook. Brett Bielema has come in there in the last 3 years and built a program. Now, if Brett Bielema is number 2, number 3, number 4 tier in the Big Ten, can he build that program? I don't know. I don't think so. I think you just end up getting the Big Ten back to where we were, where it's top heavy and nobody below them can win anything. And every year it'll be Ohio State, it'll be Michigan, it'll be Penn State, USC, God bless them. They don't know what they're doing. Oregon is always great until the postseason. They have a postseason issue. So, I mean, but if you're a school like Maryland and you're looking at it and you're saying, schools like Ted Carter at Ohio State saying this is going to be a discussion, there's going to be a stratification in the Big Ten. And if you're Maryland, you're looking at my number 3 and my number 4. Well, guess what? If I bring in a Florida State and a Clemson, they're going to be number 1 or number 2. Lowers my money. I make less. And you can say, yeah, you still make $100 million. But if the guys at the top are making 200 and 250 and 300 million, great. You're doing better than Big 12 teams. I'm not going to deny that. You're going to do better than Big 12 teams. But you're going to do worse in the top of your conference. You're going to do worse in the top of the SEC.
You know who'd want that, Moan? Your TV partners.
I'm sure they
would. You think
would.
they gave a rat's butt about Indiana or Illinois? Do you think that they got good ratings for that Duke-Illinois game? Duke couldn't even sell out their stadium. They don't want that, Moan. That's the whole purpose of the television.
But you need 13 votes in the Big Ten. 13 to add a new member to the Big Ten. Now, if you're a Maryland, if you're a Rutgers, you're a Northwestern, are you going to say, yes, let's go get Florida State and Clemson? We know they're probably going to demand unequal revenue share, and we're going to make less money. Are you going to vote for that?
At the end of the day, if Ohio State wants it, you're going to do whatever they want because they're going to bend the knee.
I disagree.
Dude, like,
I disagree.
It's
Listen,
not an equal power thing. Like that's like even
there
like the
is
president
equal
level.
power. There is equal power. There are 18 votes in the Big Ten. You need 13. That means you need 5 schools. 5 schools could get a 6th school and block it. The West Coast schools could say, you're not taking Utah. All 4 of us are blocking. Rutgers and Maryland could join them and say, yeah, we're blocking too because we don't want Florida State and Clemson in the conference. You may not think they have the power, but if you need 13 votes, all you need is 6 votes to say no.
What's the cost of a no vote, though? That's what you're not asking. Like, what does that do to your influence with somebody like Ohio State or Michigan? What does that mean for your school down the line? Like, seriously, there's a risk to a no vote, Moan. You're going to align just like everything else. They're going to fall in line whatever Ohio State wants.
Again, and you see how well that has worked for the ACC. They fell in line and gave Florida State, Clemson, and Miami everything they want. And now the teams that are not Florida State, Clemson, and Miami are not as competitive. They simply aren't. And
like Moan, but isn't that a win for their TV partners who actually fund the money? They don't want they don't want Wake Forest on TV. They know they're not going to drive ratings. They'd rather have Florida State on TV. It's a win for them. That's what they want, Moan.
You're going to end up with 5 to 6 media partners in the next Big Ten deal. We didn't talk about it this week, but we can talk about it briefly. Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery. Skydance wants to make a cash purchase of HBO Discovery, which would mean that Viacom Paramount would own all the Turner Broadcasting, all the Discovery Channel broadcasting. They would essentially become the largest media company in the world, which would allow them to basically control a lot of the pricing when it comes to live sports. ESPN can't carry all the major conferences in college football. So Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers, Discovery / 7-Eleven / whatever other crap we're putting in this merger is going to make that decision. And they're going to have a lot of places that they've got to fill in. They're going to have, we need a game on HBO Max. We need a game on TNT. We need a game on Paramount Plus. We need a game on Peacock. We need a game on Fox. We need a game on Big Ten Network. Those slots have to be filled. And I understand
those slots, Moan. Doesn't
I
matter.
understand. Okay. I understand what you're saying. You're saying, who cares about Minnesota, Illinois? Advertisers do. Advertisers do. Because they may get lower viewer numbers, but they're targeted numbers. They're people they want to target. They're people that have money, that watch Big Ten football. That's who they want to target. So yes, a Minnesota
any school in the nation, though. Like, this isn't remarkable. This isn't special. This is just plug A and B, and you've got your unique market and your unique fan base. Like, that's what like you're making it like they're so special. These lower end teams in the Big Ten, they're a dime a dozen. That's what I'm saying.
No, they're not.
They're a dime a dozen. Yes, they are. They're a dime a dozen.
Utah, Texas Tech will get less ad revenue than Minnesota, Illinois.
What?
I'm telling you right now, you can look at the advertising rates. A Big Ten ad costs more than an SEC ad.
Well, because the Big Ten brand behind it, not because of the school.
Because of the targeted demographics of the Big Ten. People want to reach those people more than they do the fans of the SEC. I'm not saying that to put down the SEC. I'm not saying that to put down the Big 12. I'm not saying that to put down the ACC. But you can actually look this up. It's been documented. The ad rate for NBC, CBS, and Fox for an ad on a Big Ten game is more than the ad rate for ABC on an SEC game or an ACC game or a Big 12 game.
Sure. Do you think that offsets double the viewership?
I think it helps offset it. It does, and
It
I don't
doesn't
think it's
offset. I
double.
mean, that could chip
I
away
don't
a
think
little
it's
bit, but
double
it's
the
not.
viewership
It's
either.
not a full
because-
mitigating factor for this, Mon. Like, I'm going to say it again. The bottom of the Big Ten's a dime a dozen. And that's why it's frustrating as an outsider when Ohio State, the king of college football, wants to share money with them. It's like, dang, I sure wish I was getting a bunch of money shared by Ohio State when you should be making 300 times more.
I don't know what you have for USC and FUCLA on the soundboard, but I hope for both it's Fleetwood Mac's Tusk with USC fans chanting UCLA sucks. Sorry, troll grinding cheek clapper. YouTube, if you play like 6 notes from a copyrighted song, we get hit with a copyright notice and it'll knock us off the air. It's the exact reason Nate wants me to play Tequila by the Champs, even if you do it as a marching band. They nail us. Can't help it. So you'll just have to live with the USC fight song. Okay, we already did that one. Ohio State would be less valuable in the ACC. I disagree with this, Nitwit. I'm sorry, I disagree. Ohio State's going to be valuable wherever they go. But yes, if you're in the ACC, they would be getting unequal revenue share, but the ACC just doesn't draw enough media money in order to match what the Big Ten does.
Here's a question for you and Nitwit. Would Ohio State make more in the ACC or the Big Ten?
The Big Ten.
No, I don't think so. I think you'd make more with the rep share. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you would basically,
ACC.
yeah, Ohio State
You'd
would
make
come
more
in
on the
and
ACC than the Big Ten.
Ohio State would come in and take money from Florida State, Miami, and Clemson.
Yeah. You just
it would be unreal. It'd be unreal. And it's nothing against those schools. You trying to prepare mentally for Moen's info.
Look, give the Jayhawk fans what they want. We'll get back to like the juicy details.
Hold on a second. Let me play the song first. There we go. There you go. That one goes on a little bit. And then we got Amazing Blue. You Big understands the importance of each school, not just for football. They should, which was my issue with President Carter, why I wrote him a letter. I vehemently disagree with it. I don't want unequal revenue. Listen, I'm an Ohio State guy. We'd be making the most. No, hands down. If we did it by viewership numbers, we're making the most.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that that's right. I believe in unequal. I believe in equal revenue share amongst all partners, with the exception of schools buying their first media contract in, like Oregon and Washington, like Maryland and Rutgers did. But I'm just saying schools like Maryland and Northwestern are going to look at a Duke, and a Duke's going to say, hey, we'll take no money, and then you guys can divide that $150 million off this new media contract amongst yourselves. And that's going to be appealing to those schools. It is.
So many Big Ten schools are like the third string quarterback in the pros are getting paid to do nothing. It's crazy. It's crazy how like you're okay with this, Bone. I don't understand it. Like it violates everything about like capitalism. Like you earn what you keep and stuff. Like seriously, like everything that you do and you bring the conference, the value that Ohio State brings, like in athletics, that's what we're talking about. Who cares about academics? You can leave the conference. They're still going to be aligned with you academically.
There was a time.
You've got them by the balls, Moan.
Okay.
Like you've got them by the balls. They're not doing anything.
There was a time when Ohio State didn't bring hardly anything to the conference.
That time's gone, and life moves on.
And during that time, the schools that did, like that Minnesota run in the 1930s, we still had equal revenue share. We still had it. Teams go up, teams go down. I understand Ohio State is very up right now. But 50 years from now, We've seen it happen. Ohio State could be down.
In my lifetime, Ohio State's never been down.
Well, that's true. In my lifetime, well, that's not entirely true. You don't remember the John Cooper years. Thank you for the super chat. I was going to play the Michigan Whoa, he has trouble with the snap Amazing Blue, but I'll play this song for you one more time. But I'm not going to play it all the way through. Troll grinding cheek clapper. As both a USC and Penn State fan, I'm in favor of equal revenue sharing.
I think it's really interesting that Ohio State's initiating this at the university level and stuff. And like the fans, at least in our communities, it's pretty clear that a lot of the Big Ten fans want to split money equally, right?
Yeah, we don't want it.
Well, the fans do, but like the administration's like, well, our budgets can increase by X, Y, Z. If I'm consulting your administration, I'm saying freaking get what you deserve.
And I'm saying as alumni of the university, we need to reach out and tell President Carter, no. At the end of the day, you serve at the behest of the governor, and you serve at the behest of the alumni of the Ohio State University. And we're not for it. And I urge everybody who's an alumni, who donates to the Alumni Association, even if you're just a fan, reach out to President Carter and say, no, I don't want this. We don't want this. I understand that people might want this, but we don't. Here's a cougar sound for you, troll grinding cheek clapper. Let me see here. Is that the last super chat? It looks like that's the last super chat.
Now let's talk about this KU.
All right. Now we're going to go into overtime. Hold on. Got to finish. I got to make another drink.
Okay, so this unequal revenue share conversation, I think that if you really root down and you go down beneath the surface and everything, it has pretty big ramifications like you're talking about, Mo. And I think that you and I both realize this. I think everybody realizes this. But it's basically when you go that direction, you're kind of destroying your own conference, right? Like, and so if you – right. I mean, that's – like you're kind of killing the Big Ten slowly. In that way.
Like I understand, yes, and I understand why ACC teams like Wake Forest did it.
Because you're already dead.
You're already dead. It's life support for a few more years. I completely understand. Big Ten is not in that scenario. Why you're not in that scenario? Why do it?
It's interesting though, like given that fact and stuff, how like the Ohio State admin administration wants to talk about that, socialize that. It's a legit conversation because Ohio State does bring so much on the athletic side. And plus Ohio State now is like a top 30, 20 university. I mean, like huge research, like every
number
box
15,
you're checking now, right?
Number
like you're
15,
checking every box.
Yeah, it's number 15 public university in the America. So
and like that's the risk though. If you go to unequal revenue sharing, you're basically saying this is a quasi super league within the Big Ten, and we're going to get paid.
And I mean, if you do that, you're basically going to, I don't know, maybe come up with relegation, come up with all this stuff. It violates the spirit of the league, of the conference. And I understand that's hard for some people to understand, because they're not members of this conference. But, I went to Ohio State because I couldn't get into Northwestern. So I went to Ohio State. I'm a Big Ten guy, and I love the Big Ten Conference, and I love what we stand for. And unequal revenue sharing and stratification is not part of that process. And it also leads to what I talked about last week. There's a faction who just wants 20 teams. One the media partner's probably going to like, and one the media partner's probably not going to like. And that's going to be the consensus builder school I talked about last week. And if you haven't figured it out yet, That consensus builder program could be one of many schools, but there is one in particular in the Southeast that schools even like Ohio State would say okay to. And guess what? They would not be in the top 1 tier, top 2 tier, top 3 tier if you did stratification in the Big Ten. But Ohio State would still vote for them to get schools like Maryland, Rutgers, Northwestern to vote for the other school. And
Virginia?
I listen, it's really obvious, Utes, but I'm not going to say it because I said I wouldn't say it. But I mean, that's what we're looking at. And that's why there's a faction that wants 20 and there's a faction that wants 22. There is a faction.
So we can't talk about the consensus builder. We can't directly
The consensus builder is obvious.
Is it Duke?
No. If you haven't figured out the consensus builder yet, it's obvious. It's obvious. They have something that Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State all
Miami.
Like. That's not the consensus builder. That would be one of the media partners.
So this consensus builder isn't quite as intuitive for me.
It's not a big brand like
Georgia Tech. Please don't tell me it's not Georgia Tech. No.
It's not Florida State. It's not Clemson. It's not Miami. Those would be the media partner picks. Those would make Fox happy. Those would make NBC happy. Those would make Paramount Viacom happy. But they wouldn't make Maryland happy. Like Maryland would not want Miami, Florida State. Because again, you're right. They're socializing this unequal revenue share and they're concerned, hey, those schools could be tier 1, which is going to push us down from tier 3 to tier 4, which is going to affect our money. So why should we vote for them? Why should we approve them?
Because then you're just going to upset Ohio State and they're going to leave you and you're screwed. You're mega screwed.
Yeah,
if they want to go to a super league. I mean, like there's risk all around no matter which way you look, Merlin. Like that's a risk in itself. It's bringing on a subpar brand because you're scared that you're going to go to unequal revenue share. Ohio State could leave you any day and you're done. Like Ohio State, Michigan, they hold the conference together. It unravels if those two leave.
The conference was founded in 1896,
In the Pac-12, when was that founded?
1950.
Don't give me that kind of stuff if the Pac-12 can just dissolve and USC just gets plucked.
The Pac-12 didn't dissolve. The Pac-12 exists. It's Oregon State, it's Washington State, it's Boise State, and a bunch of schools that they owe poaching fees to the Mountain West to at the end of the day. But, I mean, I understand your narrative. I understand where you're coming from. The Pac-12 was a completely different beast. West Coast football, West Coast time slots, that was terribly mismanaged for the better part of 30 years and suffered significantly from USC's collapse as a dynasty. I don't think you can compare the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. I think it's a bad analogy. It's apples and oranges. It really is. But again, I mean, that's what I'm saying. People last week were upset. I wouldn't say enough. I talked too much and didn't say anything. This is the conversation that schools like Maryland, Rutgers don't want to have. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to vote. They're not going to vote for two media partner schools that the media partners are going to love. Unless if one of them's Notre Dame, that's a unanimous 18 votes. It's unanimous 18 votes. It's guaranteed money to the conference. Everybody else has to be negotiated. We don't have pro rata. The only thing we have pro rata for is Notre Dame. But you can imagine schools like Clemson, Miami, and Florida State have already negotiated unequal revenue share in the ACC. Who's to say that you vote them into the Big Ten and they don't immediately ask for unequal revenue share? which is less money for a lot of schools. There's only, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 schools at the top of the Big Ten. There's 10 on the bottom. And that's where we're at. And I disagree with it. I think unequal revenue share is terrible. I think it violates everything in the spirit of the Big Ten Conference. I'm not for it. If I guess the name correctly, do you have to drink? I'll drink anyway, buddy. I'm drinking anyway, buddy. I'm on my
the consensus
glass.
builder.
I'm drinking anyway. But there is a consensus builder school in the Southeast that everybody would vote for. Everybody likes them. Everybody has a reason to like them. They may not all have the same reason, but they have a reason to like them. So there you go, Town Hawk. So I'm going to drink anyway. But let's talk a little bit about Kansas U. We're doing overtime. We're going to talk about Kansas.
I'm digesting this information.
Okay.
This is juicy information.
I'm not going to name the consensus builder, even if you get.
I'm not going to try to pull it. I'm just like absorbing really here, kind of who this could be, and like it's given the fact that it's not Florida State or Miami or Clemson. It's pretty amazing that a consensus builder wouldn't carry their weight in like an accretive media value. So basically, they would be a drain on the media contract, and they're still consensus. That is pretty wild to think about to me.
I never said they weren't an accretive media value.
I'm saying that because if they're not one of those three, that's my analysis there.
Okay, fair enough. You can take that analysis and believe that. Kansas spoke to a friend at Kansas today, this afternoon. Spoke to Greg this afternoon too. So had 2 very interesting discussions this afternoon. But Kansas is desired by both the SEC. I shouldn't say desired. Kansas is a candidate for both the SEC and the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it this week. Natural rivalry with Mizzou. Makes sense for the SEC. Blue Blood basketball program. Talked to a guy at Kansas. He deals with boosters a lot. He doesn't actually work for the university, but talks to a lot of the boosters. He feels that Kansas feels they are a better fit for the Big Ten than the SEC. They feel that the Kansas boosters, a lot of these boosters feel they are more culturally aligned with Big Ten schools. They think they fit in to the Big Ten West, and I'm talking about the old, when we had divisions, Big Ten West, like a glove. They view themselves as similar to an Iowa, to a Nebraska, to a Minnesota, to a Wisconsin, to an Illinois, schools like that. That being said, whoever invites Kansas is going to take the first invitation they get.
Uh-huh.
If it's SEC, if it's Big Ten, they don't care. They do not care. Kansas realizes they need to get their research dollars up. The $300 million gift that was given to them by Mr. Booth, that isn't all going to be spent on athletics, guys. Some of it, in fact, probably the majority of it, it's going to be spent on academics. It's going to be spent on improving the research and maintaining the fact that they're an AAU university. Kansas's academics and research has slipped in the last few years. Utah's has slipped as well. Not a good thing. Got to bounce those numbers up. Got to get those numbers up. Got to make yourself the most attractive candidate possible for the Big Ten. We know from Brett McMurphy's reporting that the Big Ten is looking at AAU universities. Some of them a little harder than others. There are schools within the Big Ten that like Kansas. They like Kansas a lot. They feel it's a cultural fit. the boosters at Kansas feel the Big Ten is a cultural fit for the university or Kansas University. So now the question becomes, do they favor the 20-team solution or the 22-team solution? Kansas favors the 22-team faction. They don't believe they have as good a shot if it goes to 20 as they do if it goes to 22. They believe if it goes to 22, that presents them their best option to get into the Big Ten. But that will not stop them if the SEC comes calling and says, we're taking the big scoop. We're taking Virginia, North Carolina, Clemson, and we want Kansas to be number 4. Kansas is going to take it. They don't have a choice. They've got to take whoever asks first. But they believe with the 20-team faction, they do not have a shot because they believe it's the consensus builder, it's the media partner one, and it stops. They believe if it goes to 22, might be 3 teams in the Southeast, and they may edge in as number 4 in the Midwest because it's a Midwestern school, Big Ten culture. They fit into an already established block of voters. So the gentleman I spoke to who talks to a lot of the Kansas boosters says the boosters' preference is Big Ten, but they're going to take who they're going to take. Whoever asks them to the dance first, that's where they're heading. Oh my God, Arizona is physically pummeling K-State. Yeah, remember when K-State was a favorite to win the Big 12? Like every preview magazine had them as the overwhelming favorite to win, and Avery Johnson was the second coming, and it was a good thing they pushed Will Howard out the door there at Kansas State.
Unbelievable. Let's talk about this Kansas thing again.
Okay, go ahead.
So Missouri is a better fit for the Big Ten than they are the SEC as well.
Sure.
Right. And they ended up in the SEC. I just don't see the value add for Kansas in the Big Ten Conference outside of basketball, because you're telling me that everybody brings something, and Kansas's academics are well below Big Ten standards. They are
currently.
Their market is below Big Ten standards. And so you're looking at, what are you really adding with Kansas? You're adding a basketball brand. How much is that really worth to the Big Ten Conference? Why can't you just go get UConn?
Okay. First,
just go UConn them.
We got to go back and do a little history. There was Kansas has been vetted many times by the Big Ten.
Sure.
Before Maryland and Rutgers, there was a strong contingency that wanted Mizzou and Kansas to fill that out. They obviously didn't win because there was issues with Mizzou, and Jim Delaney, very smart guy, said we need to go east. We need to get into bigger media markets for the Big Ten network. We need to get local carriage fees, which is what they did. They got Maryland and Rutgers. Again, talking about everybody brings something to the table. Maryland and Rutgers paid for themselves, and then some, by bringing the New York, the Maryland, the Virginia market, the DC market. So it's not like Kansas is some stranger to the Big Ten.
Sure.
The Big Ten has had Kansas in their scope several times. They're getting $300 million from Mr. Booth, who is by far their biggest booster. If they put that $300 million to the right use, they can improve their academics in the next 2, 3, 4 years. If they join the Big Ten, it's automatically going to raise their academics. Everybody who joins the Big Ten, it automatically raises their academics.
Yeah, and hence why you made the jab at Utah. Their academics are slipping. Why do you think that is, Moan? Why do you
it's
think
because
that
they're not in the Pac-12. They're not tied with USC and UCLA and
exactly.
Stanford and Cal.
100%. Yes.
That's 100%
because they're in the Big 12 conference. That's why their academics are
They're in the Big 12
100%.
conference.
Yes.
As is Kansas, and that's
Right.
it's impacted Kansas. So, but I mean, the boosters feel, or at least the boosters this gentleman talks to feel, they're more of a cultural fit for the Big Ten. They think that gift should go more towards academics and research, and prove out that Kansas is a more desirable team to the Big Ten. But they do not believe they can get in at 19 or 20.
Yeah. I mean, like they're
they
not a
don't.
value driver.
Right.
Like KU is like an ancillary play as like the last piece that you
They
kind of have to grab.
They believe that Kansas could be a media partner value with a second consensus builder at 21 and 22. And that's, there's already a consensus builder and three different media partners, media candidates in the Southeast. Kansas believes they can be a media partner / consensus builder along with another school in the Southeast. But they have to have the 22 team faction win out on that. And they can't have the 22 team faction win out if schools in the 22 team faction are talking about unequal revenue share. It doesn't help Kansas. It doesn't help the other school in the Southeast. If unequal revenue share becomes a thing and a big push, they're going to stop at 20 unless Notre Dame wants to come in at 21.
I'm going to press you on something, and I'm going to challenge this thinking. I would argue that UConn's a better value add than Kansas. If you're really going and you're measuring those two schools side by side, who has a bigger market? UConn. Who has a bigger basketball brand? Kansas, but slightly. Who has better academics? UConn. UConn actually brings a lot more than Kansas as far as a value driver and a new market up there in Boston and everything else. I don't see. In other words, I just don't see it. I don't see it at all, Mo. And it makes no sense.
What does UConn's football stadium look like?
It doesn't matter.
It does. Matter. What does Kansas's football stadium look like?
It looks like a lamb chop.
It looks like a brand new stadium that they've built. Who's a better cultural fit, Kansas or UConn?
Does it really matter at the end of the day?
Yes.
I mean, you're already in the Midwest. You have a huge presence. That's who the Big Ten is. It's just it doesn't make any sense.
Because remember we talked about the West Coast block and why USC was pushing for Utah. There's a reason that Kansas being a cultural fit for the old Big Ten West, that could be a valuable voting member of a block that includes Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, with probably not Wisconsin, but Illinois. I mean, they bring more value than UConn does. They simply do. In their basketball program, and I give UConn a lot of credit for their basketball program, great basketball program. Kansas is a blue blood basketball program.
So is UConn.
It is not. I'm sorry. UConn is not, and I'm not saying UConn's a bad basketball program, but it is not a blue blood basketball program.
I think that I just don't see it. It makes no sense on paper. I get it. I get that's what you're hearing. That's what they're saying and everything. But to me, that's just a really bad investment. A really bad investment. And I get I will have bias. Forget Utah for a second and everything. It's just there's a lot better options out there. For the SEC, I see it differently, very differently on what they could get out of a KU ad. Because you get juice with Missouri rivalry. You get into a new market territory in the Midwest and stuff. You've got OU right there, contiguous. You got Texas right there. There checks a lot of boxes. The academics aren't quite as good in the SEC. You add an AAU member. It checks. It makes sense. Big Ten is this doesn't make any sense at all. I just don't see it. I just don't see it ever happening.
And here's the thing. The SEC, they get pro rata for the 4 schools. They can afford to bring in everybody as a full member. The Big Ten can't. You've got to bring Notre Dame in order to bring full members on. But you even mentioned it yourself, Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider Mizzou is one of those outcast SEC teams?
100%.
Kansas would be the same thing. It would be an outcast among SEC teams. It would be the boosters my guy talks to feel that they would be a better cultural fit amongst Big Ten universities.
I do agree with that. But like as far as value add, that's what I'm talking about.
Again,
like you can't look. There's a lot of cultural fits, Mo, and you got to make sense though.
right?
When you're actually looking holistically.
I understand what you're saying, value add you, but it's a blue blood basketball program. I understand it's not a football powerhouse. They do drive media value. When was the last time the Big Ten won NCAA basketball championship?
Michigan State.
Michigan State over 20 years ago.
And look who right now is killing it in like all sports and like has grown and become the best athletic conference in the world. The Big Ten Conference without basketball. Who gives a rip? Basketball is irrelevant.
It is not irrelevant. It is
irrelevant.
It's revenue streams. It's revenue streams. You
and
may
the revenue
say,
streams
basketball is irrelevant,
20%.
but listen, if let's say the Big Ten adds Kansas at 21 and Duke at 22, you've added two blue blood basketball programs. You've got Michigan State. You've got Purdue. You've got Indiana. You've got UCLA. Now, when you go to sell your media rights, you can say, look at all my blue blood basketball programs as well.
That's a really good job and stuff. I know that your football rights are worth $80 million. We'll give you $25 million for your basketball rights.
Okay.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like when you actually look at it at the whole picture, it doesn't make sense. That's why you don't pay for basketball brands. Like unless they're going to be a half share or 4 share in perpetuity forever.
How much did the NBC just pay for the NBA rights?
I don't know. Like
billions.
Are you trying to make the argument that basketball
is the argument that basketball still drives viewership and it still drives media value. It does.
20% to 25% of a media contract. We both know that.
That's and it's a massive media contract. It's massive. The next media deal, I know people in the Big Ten media part, they're going to make the Big Ten's going to make the biggest media deal in college sports history when it comes around, guys. It is. So stop talking about like, well, the Big Ten doesn't have this school, and so they won't. The Big Ten's going to get paid. They are. Advertiser rates, they love Big Ten games. And they're probably going to be split between 6 different partners at this point. You're probably going to have NBC, Paramount, or Paramount, Warner Brothers, Discovery, 7-Eleven, whatever it's going to end up being. I'm sure my stock's still not going to rise on that deal. And then you're going to have Fox and Big Ten Network. And hey, maybe they do a deal to give ESPN a Big Ten game once a week. Or maybe they do a deal with Amazon to do a Big Ten game once a week. Hey, YouTube TV is out here spending billions on NFL football. Maybe they would like to counter program a Thursday NFL game with a Thursday Big Ten game. Who knows?
It's a poor and unwise investment to invest in basketball over football. KU knows that more than anybody. That's why they're throwing so much money into football with their donation. We both know that, Mo. Like that's why we have a college football podcast, not a basketball podcast.
I'm not saying they're just investing in basketball, though. You're investing in the academics of the university. Kansas has invested in football. They have put together a nice new stadium. It's not complete yet, but I think it's a pretty damn cool looking stadium. They have, again, they slipped against Mizzou. They did not close it out, but they were competitive. Kansas has a competitive football program now. Ricky Tungate, Indiana Hoosier. I still think Big Ten made a mistake not taking Kansas and Missouri when Nebraska was added. I think Nebraska would have been better because they had company. It was considered. It was considered a couple times, and then the Rutgers Maryland deal came along, and Jim Delaney, much to his credit, realized that yes, it's going to be better for the conference as a whole to get more East Coast markets than West Coast or Midwest markets. So, thank you for the super chat, Ricky. I will give you a little Indiana Hoosier song. Speaking of cultural fits, Indiana, Kansas, cultural fit. Basketball is religions in those states. So, again, I'm not saying
okay. Like if you want to invest in basketball, go ahead. Like go ahead. I mean, like it's
I
not
think they
help
want
your
to
value.
I think they want to invest in consensus builders. And if Kansas comes in, if the 22 team faction wins out in this, and Kansas comes in and says we'll take a half share for the length of this media deal, and Duke says we'll take a 0 share for the length of this media deal. So everybody who's in the Big Ten at that point, all 20 teams, make more money because Kansas took half and Duke took nothing. And I think cultural fit is important. And I understand as a Utah fan, you think Utah fits the Big Ten culturally, I'm sure. You think Utah fits as a cultural team, at least in the West Coast. USC is pushing for Utah. We know that. You think USC, UCLA, USC, Washington, USC, Oregon. You think you fit that block like a glove. And I don't disagree with you. I think you do. But as we mentioned last week, I think there is fear in the Big Ten about giving too much power to the West Coast block. If you go to 20 and you add Utah, you give them a 25% voting block in the Big Ten.
Well, Utah's not going to get in a 20-team scenario. It'd be a 24 if they ever had a sniff.
It would have to be a 24. Yes, it would have to be a 24.
We both know that.
Yes.
It's fascinating this Big Ten voting on who's next member because it goes almost against conventional wisdom on how you can evaluate this stuff. Because if you throw in the fear of the voting block fear that they're going to join a voting block, you can basically make a argument for almost any school that's a P4 school to join the Big Ten conference. It almost eliminates legitimate analysis. Does it make sense? You on paper and stuff, you can think about it hey, these would be good fits and everything, but you can always make that argument. Well, if they're going to win unequal revenue a share and everything, then they wouldn't be the best ad and stuff because they would mess with the culture of the Big Ten. You basically can discount any school by that caveat.
I think you got to give a little to get a little. I think Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, if they want a media partner pick, they're probably going to get one. They're also going to have to vote for a smaller school that schools like Maryland, Rutgers, and Minnesota feel less threatened by. Adding, going in and saying, hey, we're just going to take over Florida and get Miami and Florida State. Brilliant move. I mean, from a media perspective, brilliant move. But if you're Maryland, if you're Rutgers, if you're Minnesota, if you're Illinois, you got to look at it and say, hey, we go to unequal revenue sharing. That pushes us from A to B.
There's some weird stuff going on in the Big Ten.
I agree, and nothing is determined yet. Absolutely nothing's determined yet. Like I said, the gentleman I talked to from Kansas, he does not work for the university or Kansas University. He just talks to some boosters from there. I've been able to verify some of the boosters he talks to, and they just feel like they're a cultural fit for the Big Ten, but they realize if the Big Ten does not go beyond 20 in this expansion round, they are not getting into the Big Ten.
Yeah, I think that's very plain right there. 100%. Should we get to some comments?
Absolutely. And I know we've got a lot of Kansas fans that are probably upset at you. So let me scroll.
No, we can't be honest, though. We got to tell it like it is, though, right? You got to be honest about the assessments. You can't sugarcoat them. And we could be wrong about something, but we've got to hash this out, and we can disagree.
Yeah, you can disagree. I mean, listen, right? You can disagree with every Big Ten candidate, and you can make an argument for every Big Ten candidate. You can make an argument for Pitt if you really wanted to. I wouldn't, but you could. What happens if conferences start hosting their own postseason tournaments? That's going to happen. It's going to happen. The media partners want it. The conferences want it.
Are you talking football or basketball?
I'm talking Well, you already have one in basketball. We've got conference tournaments. But you're going to have the same thing in football. You're going to end up having, 1 and 2 for your championship game, and then 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 for playing games. It's additional volume for media partners.
Yeah, 100%. It makes a lot of sense. It's a no-brainer, a value add for each conference to do it. Having automatic qualifiers helps. And automatic spots that you're getting into the conference. And the Big 12 needs automatic qualifiers, Moan. I'm sick of seeing a one-bid league.
SEC, the Utah guys sound salty. Listen, if you're really the SEC conference or the Securities and Exchange Commission, drop a super chat, man. You guys can afford it. Jason Spangler, he's a KU. He's a Jayhawk. He says the numbers aren't hard to find.
What numbers?
I would assume probably the viewership numbers.
For football or basketball?
For everything. All good. Haven't seen you around here before. All good. Consider giving us a like and a subscribe. And by the way, guys, new YouTube feature. It's called the hype button. You can hype a video or a stream up to 3 times a week. Consider giving us a hype. I think Paramount will go for the whole thing. Larry Ellison is an Illinois guy, and his son is USC guy. So he thinks Paramount, Warner Brothers, Discovery, 7-Eleven, American Airlines is going to go for exclusivity on the next Big Ten media deal.
I just don't know if they've got the money for it, Moan. It's very expensive.
No, don't worry. David Zaslav has pushed Warner Brothers Discovery down where it's not very expensive. Trust me. It's funny hearing a Utah guy say basketball doesn't matter when the only athlete anyone knows from Utah is Keith Van Horn.
Alex Smith.
That's true. Alex Smith and
Steve Smith.
Wait, Steve Smith from the Carolina Panthers played at Utah?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Oh, Moan has a little bit more respect for the Utes. There we go.
I don't know. Steve Smith was an asshole, though. Who's Utah's most famous football player? Alex Smith, probably. No, it's probably Steve Smith. Steve Smith actually had kind of a Hall of Fame career.
He did.
Kansas football has 3 pro Hall of Famers. Town Hawk, wild. I just don't see it. Man, they're killing you. They're killing you.
That's fair. That's fair. But I think that, Mo, you're moving like the needle for KU so much to the left here. I've got to move it a little bit more and stuff so we get to an equilibrium.
Fair enough.
On what's realistic here, right? Utah does fit the Pac-12, 100%. 100%. The old Pac-12.
Tony Lawson says the big is not adding Kansas and Duke at 19 and 20. I 100% agree. They both believe they need to get to 22 in order to be added to the Big Ten. Miami to Division II, Utah Jazz to the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten.
The Jazz couldn't make the Big Ten.
Yeah, I was going to say the Big Ten would take somebody better than the Jazz. UConn is a blue blood, a modern blue blood. I'm sorry, UConn is not a blue blood. They're a new blood. New blood. I believe, in my definition, blue bloods have to be established for a certain period of time.
UConn has been established for 40 years, Moan.
That's not enough time.
I mean,
Like Ohio State's been established for like 80 years. That's a blue blood. Notre Dame's been established for like 100 years. That's a blue blood. Big Lubbock says this is right up your alley. I would like to know the ratio of the NBA media deal to the NFL deal. That will tell us the true percentage of basketball to football.
Give me 2 minutes so I can find that information.
Jason Spangler says the enrollment numbers at KU don't fit the Big Ten profile. KU has level 1 trauma hospital, AAU, world-class cancer research, et cetera, but just don't have the huge enrollment. Not a lot of people in Kansas, in the state of Kansas. So, Sean says it's a cult. I don't know what that's in reference to.
That's the Big Ten Conference, my friend.
Yeah,
it's a cult.
It's a cult. I would think Notre Dame has to be having conversations just in case realignment happens. Yeah, Notre Dame's having conversations on how they can still not join a conference and get special treatment. Mr. Monkey says perfectly, UConn equals a new blood.
It's a chimpanzee.
It's a chimpanzee, not a monkey. Chimpanzee's an ape. It's a great ape, as in fact, not one of the lesser apes. Daniel Gorby, Florida State member. Good to see you, Daniel. Makes you want to just, he agrees with you.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you want to just shake your head.
Like sometimes, like, hey, as a school that's trying to get into the Big Ten, to like get snubbed and like in a school like Florida State, the great Florida State, the crown jewel of realignment, like there's only so much you can take, man, before you lose it.
Daniel Gygax says eat shit, Pitt. I'm not going to go with that because I've got Pitt in 2 different parlays this weekend. The Big Lubbock, since UConn has more natties than Kentucky, Duke, UNC, or KU individually in the last 25 years, this makes them a blue blood. Gonzaga is a new blood. Big Lubbock, we're going to have to agree to disagree. Last 25 years, they're a new blood, not a blue blood. Don't have James Naismith name attached to UConn.
You know what the craziest thing about UConn is? Like when doing the matrix models for Wilder University, UConn actually, based on the criteria, scored the like highest out of any Big 12 school.
Oh, sure.
I'm serious. Yeah. Like UConn, basically, like if you're going to call basketball, like if you're going to say it's a 20 to 25% like percent weight in a realignment decision and like market factors and everything, it's like an absolute no-brainer for the Big 12, but still,
right, and you know Yormark has pushed for it. We know Brett Yormark has pushed for it. He wants in the New York market. He wants another basketball brand to add to the Big 12 because his intention or his plan that he's mentioned is to push separate deals for football and basketball.
Simone, if UConn can't get in the Big 12, how is Kansas going to get in the Big 10?
Culture.
Okay.
Again, the boosters feel they're more culturally aligned with the Big Ten. And I don't disagree with them. I think they culturally align with Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Indiana, all those kind of plains, I guess you would call them plains school. Big Lubbock says Texas Tech wants UConn in the conference. Well, and as we've talked about with private equity probably wants UConn in the conference.
Yeah, they do.
Taylor Mott, good to see you, Taylor. I don't think I've seen you around here before. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe, dude. We do college football content all year. And then he says they're a fantastic brand. Jason Spangler says UConn is a borderline blue blood. I'm on the record saying that. Again, I think they're a new blood. More years under their belt, they'll be a blue blood. The Ellisons are worth over $300 billion, I've read.
Hey, Moan, just to pop in. So it looks like Houston is going to the fourth quarter. They're going to probably beat Colorado.
Who is the quarterback at Colorado? Is it still Caden Salter?
No, they actually swapped it out for this game. It was the third stringer. I'll get the name for you here in a second.
Not the 5-star kid. Because that's my question is if it's a 5-star kid. The recruit that they brought in, they showed him on the throne with Shadur. If Kansas wins 6 championships in football in the next 25 years, will they be a football blue blood? No. Again, it takes time. Okay, everybody has their different opinion on what's a blue blood. For me, a blue blood takes time. It's consistency over a period of time. And I think that period of time has to be at least 50 plus years.
So your definition's interesting because, like, the market definition of a blue chip stock, blue chip, blue blood, right? Like, kind of the same thing, is if you actually qualify to be in the S&P 500, the S&P, like the top 50 company, it's basically the top. It doesn't matter about your history. Yeah. You're like the largest, most significant companies at that time, and you can fall in and out of it. A blue chip stock. So my argument would be blue chip, blue blood, same thing. UConn's in.
Disagree. Hawkin 2 says, wonder if you will still think UConn is a better football program after the L later this year. Does Utah play UConn this year?
No.
I think basketball.
I think that he's referring to KU and Utah, the final game of the season in football.
Big Lubbock brings up a great point, and I actually agree with this. Blue blood is not a closed club, and matter of fact, if Nebraska doesn't win a natty soon, they will not be a blue blood, and I agree. Nebraska being down for the last 25 years, they're on the verge of losing blue blood status.
Yeah, it's like a blue chip stock, like if you're not relevant, then you fall out. But like, I think that there's a lot more consideration for schools moving up into blue blood status, like your Georgias, blue bloods. Like, you win significantly over a period of time at the biggest levels, you're a blue blood. And UConn winning multiple national championships, there's no doubt in my mind.
The United States isn't a blue blood then using that metric. You're absolutely right, Taylor Mott, because we defeated the blue bloods in the Revolutionary War. And that's why we're called red-blooded Americans. Big Lubbock says Paramount owns CBS, 100%.
Nice.
Moan, you will only get 2 beers given to you at the West Virginia tailgate, then 3 by taking Pitt. Listen, man, I'm trying to make money here, Daniel. I'm trying to make money. I'm not a university and a conference. I'm simply a man with a $10 parlay and a dream. And I got to take Pitt, and I got Pitt at 4.5. So I'm very pleased with that. Rock and Rant, have I ever told you you're the greatest? I will be an Alabama fan for the first time in my life tomorrow. Boo-hoo Badgers, yeah. Rock and Rant is not a fan of the Badgers. I would welcome UConn, but their fans seem to want to be in the Big East.
Yeah, their fans are kind of smug.
I don't know. God bless UConn football. They scored a field goal to go to overtime, which allowed Syracuse to score a touchdown and for me to cover on last week's parlay. So I do like Utah in those regards. Of course, a Utah fan would dismiss time and history as a component of defining a blue blood. To be fair, Utah's never won a Rose Bowl.
Utah's won a Fiesta Bowl and a Sugar Bowl.
No, it's not a Rose Bowl, though. Let's be honest.
Not till this year. Not till Utah clips Ohio State.
That won't happen. Arizona 17, Kansas State 3 in the second quarter. Man, Kansas State.
What is going on with the
Let's
Wildcats?
talk about this. Everybody had them as their preseason favorite, and Avery Johnson was going to be the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, and it's just been awful for him since Ireland. I mean,
it's Ireland. That's the problem. You lose in Ireland, and your season's over.
You're cursed. You're cursed.
Yeah.
Especially when your dad and brother are fighting in the streets of Dublin.
Gee, oh, what a rough season it's been. And then, like, there's a K-State player within the last week and a half that was arrested because he was dealing pot. It's just not gone well. And, like, and Dylan Edwards is still hurt for K-State. Here's the craziest thing, Mo. K-State's still just 0-1 in conference play. They can still win the Big 12, even if they lose this game. This is
they can't. No, they can't. They can't. I understand what you're saying. Mathematically, they can. I've watched this team play. They can't.
You think they suck that bad?
They suck at bad. Avery Johnson, God bless Kansas State for pushing Will Howard out. Won us a national championship. One of my favorite players. I got a bid on an autographed Will Howard jersey on eBay right now, and I hope to win it. God bless you, Kansas State. Avery Johnson ain't it. Or they don't have the dudes around them. Take your pick.
Yeah, they just don't have the talent around them.
Notre Dame hasn't won a natty since 1988. Their blue blood status is not in doubt. That's because they're Notre Dame and they're special little snowflakes. And they can do no wrong, and anybody who faces them can do no right. UCLA game just started. They already lost. I believe it.
Does suck, don't they?
Jason Spangler says Kleinman got to be fired. This unacceptable. I don't think they're going to fire him, even if they go winless the rest of the year.
No, I don't think so.
Dennis Hattie, good to see you, Dennis. Blue chip was coined in reference to poker chips. Blue blood is in reference to royal blood, which is true.
Wow.
And they were considered blue bloods because they were so damn inbred that they, would have blue blood. Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, UNC are the winningest programs in college basketball. Is Indiana a blue blood? It's been a minute since their last title. I think they are, and I would add UCLA to that list as well. Rocket Ranch says the only K-State fight they have is Johnson's family in a parking lot.
What a horrible trip back.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you were sitting next to like your dad on the flight.
And the wife was saying this is so fucking embarrassing. And
was she really?
Yeah, if you watch the video clip, she says this is so fucking embarrassing. And she wasn't wrong. I mean, and I tell people this all the time. Listen, if you're an American and you go to a foreign nation, just comport yourself in a decent manner. Come on. As my grandma Blair would say, you got to act like you got some goddamn sense, even if you don't. Iowa State is trying to be a blue blood in football. I need to work a little more.
Hey, man, don't diss Iowa State.
Is K-State this year's version of 2024 Utah?
I think K-State might be this year's version of 2024 Utah, or maybe Oklahoma State. We will see how bad it gets.
K-State is terrible. My worst preseason pick. Hey, man, I had Oklahoma State at like number 4 in the Big 12, so can't get much worse than that. Rock and rant. Sorry, but yeah. Jason Spangler says, with these lower division coaches, you can see their ceilings like we're seeing with Leipold. Listen, Jason, love you, brother, but Leipold is a quality coach, and Kansas is very lucky to have him. If you don't like it, you can always go back and get Charlie Weiss. Les
Oh,
Miles.
gee. Les Miles. You know they need what was the what's the
Mark
Oklahoma one?
Mangino on his
Mangino.
mobility
Yeah,
scuba.
he was a dang good football coach. I mean, he was crazy,
Yeah,
but he was a dang good
fat
coach.
fuck. He was the fattest coach I've ever seen. Like Mark
Andy
Mangino
Reid.
looked like
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid is thin compared to Mark Mangino. Mark Mangino could unhinge his jaw and eat a pizza delivery boy. K-State went down second. Avery's dad swung on brother.
Yeah.
Every
Never
man wishes
play
the
in Dublin.
season is over. Yeah. Or the 2024 Florida State. Yeah, bad game for them. I had TCU and ASU in the conference championship. I have ISU and ASU, so still have a
It could
chance.
still happen. TCU is the school that's getting most disrespected.
Hoover's a really good quarterback, and I messed up on that one. I did not think it was the case. I thought he was a flash in the pan. He's really good. Tawtown Hawk says Avery's grandpa was my high school golf coach. Small world. Well, hopefully he never beat you. Hopefully he never punched you for like missing or slicing or anything like that. Tony Lawson says, I have Minnesota winning the Natty. I look like a genius so far. Must be in hockey, Tony, because there's no way they're doing it in football. Big Lubbock, this is for you. How is Utah going to the playoffs with the loss to Texas Tech?
Ooh, Utah needs to focus on Wyoming tomorrow. That's the game at hand. That is no gimme win and stuff. That might be the trickiest game on the schedule. I'm just saying if Utah does make it in the playoffs, they're going to beat Ohio State. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Utah is absolutely going to win the Big 12. I don't know. It's going to be a war versus Texas Tech on Big Noon in Salt Lake City. And you bet your bottom dollar I'll be there early, tailgating and ready and juiced for that Texas Tech football game. But, Moen, I'm telling you, and I guarantee this, that Utah will beat Ohio State if we play you in the playoffs.
Please. Utah couldn't beat their meat with a manual lotion and a Hustler magazine. I'm not buying it. UCLA is officially losing. They lost as soon as the ball was snapped. I'm sorry. New Mexico 7-0 over UCLA. Well, UCLA, hey, look, this is what happens when you get a $3 million quarterback and don't put any talent around it.
Man.
Hope TCU wins in Ireland next year to avoid the curse, the Irish curse.
They do.
To your earlier point, Mo, Northwestern and Purdue are very happy we added UCLA. You're absolutely right. It's a win on the schedule. If New Mexico beats UCLA, then Texas Tech's non-conference schedule will be tougher than Utah's non-conference schedule.
I'm not going to debate that. I'm not going to debate that.
Week? Is that game next week?
So Utah, Texas Tech is next week. Yeah,
what time is it?
7.5 days. It's Big Noon. It's a 10 a.m. kickoff, bro. And it's a 10 a.m. kickoff. How are you going to tailgate for a 10 a.m. kickoff? I'm going to get up like at 6 a.m. and get out there, man.
Fine. Listen, man, if you're not wasted, the day is. It's what happens when you join the Big Ten. Maybe the curse is being picked to win the Big 12.
Kind of seems like
it. That might be. Kansas State certainly is showing it. Okay, I think we're going to, we'll get this one. Mark Mangino beat anorexia, and I mean, he beat the living shit out of it. God bless him. He was a great coach.
He was a great coach.
Great coach, but he was the fattest coach I've ever seen. Reminded me of Violet Beauregard and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Just big and round and just fat as shit. Is Fox actually going to the Utah campus?
Yes.
I would assume so if it's Big Noon kickoff.
Yeah, they're all going there. I was hoping game day would come, but there's no way game day is coming to Fox is there. No chance.
Kegs and eggs. Absolutely.
Not
Fried eggs.
College anymore. It's tough.
Fried eggs. Make them greasy as hell. with wheat toast. Instant hangover cure. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Is there anything else? I apologize, one, for not getting to more comments tonight, but we were talkative tonight. I do apologize for that. I want to welcome everybody who's a new member to the channel. I want to thank everybody for the super chats. I will list you off here before we go off the air. Anything you want to make for your last call tonight? Anything last thing you want to say before we let these fine folks go to slumber land?
Don't get milked. Don't get milked. Don't get milked.
I will say this. It depends on what part you're getting milked. I would encourage it. In some cases, it helps you relax. It makes you a better person, makes you a happier person. So for myself, for Wild Ute, for Nate, who no longer is with us, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in for this big freaking Friday show. I know we had a lot of competition up against college football games, but I do thank the people who showed up, especially the people who donated and helped us hit our super chat goal and go to overtime and talk a little Kansas Jayhawks. Ricky Tungate, thank you for the gifted membership. Amazing Blue. Ricky Tungate, Amazing Blue, Tawtown Hawk, Becky Go Huskies, who you can catch with me every Wednesday on The Take. Daniel Gygax, who you can catch pretty much anywhere. He's all over the place. Thank you, Daniel Gygax. Stormy Cyclone. Of course, the Cyclones won the Cyhawk Trophy. Congratulations. Ryan Willie. Hopefully the Brewers won for you, and it wasn't just a bit outside. Heartbreak 25, Penn State fan. Thank you, Heartbreak 25. Tawtown Hawk. Kansas fan. Big Jayhawk. Jayhawk Squawk. College football peek around the corner with Greg Flugar. Absolutely. If you have not subscribed to Greg's show yet, what are you doing? The man knows what he's talking about, except when it comes to picking football. And I did pick Cal. I bet on Cal. And then we gifted our last 5 memberships of the month. Please consider going over and watching the Moen Confidential, the new members only video. Interesting information from a TCU source. Nitwit, the Penn State Nittany Lion with the 50-piece McNugget drop, reminding us on September 27th, we get to experience a true whiteout in Happy Valley. Bring on the Ducks. That might be the game of the season.
Maybe.
Maybe, absolutely. Thank you for that, Nitwit. Troll Grinding Sheet Clapper, who has the best name on YouTube. Nitwit again. Amazing Blue again. Nitwit for again. Thank you, Nitwit. Tawtown Hawk again. Jayhawk. Troll Grinding Sheet Clapper again. Tawtown Hawk again. Ricky Tungate. Mr. Hoosier. Love the Bison mascot on the sideline. Absolutely love it. And then Tawtown Hawk once again. And we'll go ahead and play the Kansas.
Dude, give him the squawk. Give the squawk.
That one goes on for a while. That's like a 38-second sounder. For myself and you, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. We love you guys. We'll catch you next Friday. I will see you again on Sunday with Moen After Dark with myself and Rock and Rant, and we will go over all the crazy action that happened in week 3. We'll see if I hit either one of my parlays. I want to thank everybody for joining us again tonight. We will catch you later. As always, make sure you give us a like, a subscribe, turn on your notifications. Use the new hype feature on YouTube. It helps us tremendously as small creators reach new people. So please use that hype feature. Until next Friday, peace out. Hopefully everybody's team wins.